Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, December 3rd, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube super chat right here. We got Sunday night football, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Green Bay Packers. Kickoff is in about 9 or 10 minutes. I am ready to go. Hopefully, everyone had a fantastic weekend. College football playoff. They decided to leave Georgia out. Very surprising, but I'm surprised, but I'm not. And then we had a lot of upsets on the NFL today. I hope everyone is doing good, and let's get ready to go. I am ready. This should be a good matchup, with the Chiefs. Yeah, Green Bay has played better on defense, in the last, I would say 2 to 3 weeks or so. Obviously, that big eye opener was going to be there against the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. I don't think anybody thought that Green Bay was going to win that game, and they found a way for their defense to kind of come alive. And I know Green Bay is going to fight. They're at home. It's Jordan Love. But I got to have I'm thinking that the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, he's starting to get in a little bit better of a rhythm. But I need to know, are they going to go to Sky Moore? Are they going to go to Kadarius Toney? Are they going to be going to a lot of the other guys, Justin Watsons and the Noah Grays? Or are we finally going to go Travis Kelce? Right, we know Pacheco, because obviously McKinnon, I believe, is not playing, but we definitely need to go to more Rashee Rice. You finally gave him an opportunity instead of getting 4 to 5 targets a game. You gave him 10 targets last week. He was able to do really well, for himself and people that had him in fantasy. So I'm kind of wondering, was that just like a one-off fluke, or are they going to be able to consistently go to Rashee Rice? And I think that the day that they decide that Rice is the number one receiver for the Chiefs, that's when you're going to see Kansas City elevate their game. And that way you're not going as much to Justin Watson or Noah Gray or Kadarius Toney or Sky Moore. And it's not like those players suck. It's just that I think there's certain guys that are a little bit more reliable, like Rashee Rice, Isaiah Pacheco, and obviously TK all day, Travis Kelce. Let's go, baby. Odin's son in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. I know you're excited about this one. And I got Patrick Mahomes in fantasy. I'm starting them. And I got Joshua Dobbs and Sam Howell. But I would really like to be able to play Mahomes in fantasy all the way to the championship. And I took a little leap of faith. I knew Sam Howell would lose, but I figured he would get 17 to 19 points just because they would be down so much that he'll be throwing a lot. Now, with Mahomes, I know they're going to have a balanced offense, but I need to make sure that he gets at least a couple touchdowns in the end zone, or if at least one touchdown in the air, one on the ground. But preferably, if we can get 2 in the air, 3 in the air, 4 in the air, that's really going to help elevate their game. Big facts. Renee in the building. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Hey, you got revenge? You got revenge. Red and gold, Gold Rush, Bay Bombers, the city, Fog City, the Bay Frisk. I see you. What's good? Hey, big win. And I was not surprised one bit. Obviously, Jalen went down with a little bit of the injury, but the Niners dominated that game from the very beginning and all the way to the end. So congratulations on a little bit of payback. But when we go further along, we need to be able to see you guys do it again when we get to the playoffs, and then maybe we'll have the San Francisco 49ers or the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game, or both, and maybe one of those two teams will be in the Super Bowl this year. Congratulations, Renee. Daniel in the building. What's good? He says, I got the Chiefs. I do too. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be a little bit closer. Prime time. Packer defense has been playing better. They're going to feed off the emotion of the crowd, but I still think Mahomes will be able to do enough, and that defense for Kansas City will do enough against Jordan Love, where I feel that they should be able to win this game by 3 to 10 points. I'm not sure how close it will be, but I know Green Bay will fight, and it won't surprise me if they have the lead at some point in the game, but I got Kansas City with the dub at the end of the day. Sarah in the building. What's good? Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. Let's get those likes up, baby. Let's go. You know what? And it wouldn't surprise me if you guys end up doing it. It's all really depends on that offensive line, the defensive line, and the defense. I mean, skill position players are through the roof, but it's all about consistency and being able to match up against the best in the world, the Philadelphia Eagles, going into their building and getting a dub. Now we need to be able to see you get a dub when we go to the playoffs, and then obviously NFC Championship game if you're there, which I assume you will be. And then if you play Philadelphia or another team, get the job done, and then obviously go to the Super Bowl and then bring that obviously Lombardi to San Fran. I see you. Let's go. Let's go. Elliot in the building. What's good? Yeah, my fantasy started off with a bang because all of a sudden it was like, ooh, Laporta with a tutty, and then ooh, the next possession off a turnover, and then Montgomery with a tutty, ooh, and then Amon Ra with a tutty. So I had three tutties, all in fantasy, and that's one thing. I tried to kind of, draft based on teams and players that I believe in, and when Shep did Burrow, Mixon, and T. Higgins, it worked really well for him. So I was like, you know what? Laporta, Montgomery, Amon Ra, it worked out. I played all three. They all scored. They all did well. And, like I said, it seems like Detroit's defense still has some issues. And you guys made a hell of a comeback, with that game. What it shows me, the Saints fans are fed up with Carr. They don't even want him on the team anymore. When he comes out on the field, they boo. It's like, he throws picks, he fumbles, he's not accurate. And then all of a sudden they substitute Taysom Hill in for one play. He gets a 7-yard first down rushing the football. Then one play later, they take him out. Boo! Carr comes in. You should learn that the fans for the Saints are not stupid. A lot of them are very passionate and smart. And it's very clear. Jameis Winston got lucky off a tip. And obviously Olave with the big catch. But Taysom Hill, I know you like to use him as a gadget guy. But the thing is if you're not winning games at all, right, and you're struggling a lot, instead of having him come in with that burst and coming in with that, that surprise play or that burst of energy off the bench like a six-man, you're going to need that burst and that special play all the time, not just 5 or 6 plays. So if it was me, I would be starting Taysom Hill for the rest of the year, but I know the Saints will not do that. And that's going to be kind of the tall tale sign of their team if they fire coaches, if they blow the team up. But it's very, very clear. Jameis can get the ball further downfield than Carr. They're both going to throw interceptions. They're both going to play bad. But who throws the deep ball better? Jameis does than Carr. Carr is not a fit. He's not very efficient, right? And then you got Taysom Hill. When he gets in there, he can run, he can catch, he can throw, he can block. He is a Swiss Army knife. So for me, even if you went to Jameis as a starting quarterback, bench Carr, and then you played Taysom more, that would work. But I honestly feel playing Taysom as a starter would give you guys the best shot every week to win. And yeah, Taysom will fumble and he'll throw picks, but I think he'll give you more than the other two quarterbacks. And I don't think any Saint fan will disagree with me. Big facts. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Oh, I appreciate you. Odin Son with a 14. Appreciate you. We had about 1,500 people that ended up watching the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide, and support was very, very low. Anytime you end up grinding, you want to have at least a couple people show love for all the hard work, and it just feels good when you can get appreciated for all the hard work and energy, as well as me, vibing and giving connection and helping people out. No one wants to feel like they're being taken advantage of. No one wants to feel like you're coming here to watch a movie, right? And you're sneaking into the theater and then you're watching the movie for free. And sometimes that's the way I feel. And even people have messaged me that they feel like, for all these people that you help and all the grind that you put in with all this consistency, it's like a lot of these people are like sneaking into a movie theater and they're not showing you love or appreciation or paying for their ticket. And I was like, you know what? You're right. But what can I do? I just need to find the right people that want to be positive, that want to be able to bankroll the channel and help me out. So I appreciate that. Odin Son with a 14er. Shep in the building. What's good? How are you? Let's go, baby. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $14 dono. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. And I did get a dono also, too, from Mo Gumbo, and he was one of the main people that messaged, too, and he was saying, if you want me to, this is what he wrote to me, based off, kind of how things have been. And This is what he said. He says, "What the fuck is wrong with people? It's like they're stealing from you, like sneaking into a movie for free." He says, "It shows you're a true sport fan and you got the grind." And then he ended up having a big, kind of like paragraph and whatnot. And he says, "Stay positive, man. There's no way anyone can work as hard as you and not be successful. It's going to take off. It's just a matter of time." And I told him, yeah, sometimes you just got to be able to find the right people that appreciate what you're doing. And that's big fact. So I appreciate that. Mo Gumbo did a $20 dono. So let's throw that in there as well. So Odin son, I appreciate you. And that's a hell of a lot better than a zero. I don't think, there should be no streams where there's a zero to me, honestly, ever. Now, if I'm at 20 subs, and you get a zero, duh. If you're at 200 subs, 2,000 subs, yeah, that might happen. But when we're over 20,000 and you got 1,500 people, like I said, not to have one person show love, it definitely gets disappointing. And, the fan base should be better, right? We all should be better. And like I said, I feel that other people are going to be able to be more consistent, put out an effort. And I'm not the only one that doesn't get appreciated or get the love. Shep at work, he's not getting the love and appreciation. And it's a shitty ass feeling, when you give it your all and then you have your superiors or your bosses or whoever it is, and they keep stockpiling more work for you to do, and they're not even saying thank you or showing that love and that appreciation, which sucks. And trust me, I know what that feels like because I go through it pretty much every day of my life doing this channel. So let's get Mo Gumbo's 20 on here as well. Thank you, Mo Gumbo. He's not in the stream right now. I don't know if he'll stop in, but he's been very, very busy. But it's always good when you can get that love and support. Mo Gumbo with a 20. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Let's go. Yeah. And like I said, it's all about consistency. And, the hard work should pay off. But we just need the mods. We just need the goats. We need the heavy hitters. We need people that are important to this channel to realize how important it is that they are here and they're here often, regardless if you can donate or not. But if one mod or goat doesn't show up, then another one thinks that it's okay to not show up. Then another one and another one. And then instead of having 10 goats in the room, we have none. And that's a shitty fucking feeling for as hard as I work on a daily basis, especially when I talk to a lot of people outside of the streams. A lot of people have a personal relationship with me. And I just want to make sure that at the end of the day, I feel loved and appreciated for what I do, and trying to make my dreams come true. I don't want to feel like I'm being walked on. I don't want to feel underappreciated. I don't want to feel not loved. But I'll be very honest, that's kind of how I felt all of 2023. I feel like all this effort and all this hard work, I'm not saying it's for nothing, you know what I mean? But I think that as a group, we could be very improved and things could be much, much better. And hopefully, it's not a broken record. And hopefully those things will change and we can get better results from a group. Shep with a tenor. I appreciate you, Shep. Thank you, bro. And I'll get some photos up for you guys here in just a second. And I understand that everyone is going through, different things with work and personal issues. If we're going through a sickness or a death of a family member or a cat or a dog or whatever it may be, I don't expect everyone's world to revolve around me. But what I do expect is if we're at a certain number, over 20,000 subs, we need to, as a fan base, act like that's what I'm at, not act like, I'm at 10 or 20. You know what I'm saying? Big fact. All right, first down and 10. All whites with the Chiefs look very slick. Red helmet, white jersey, white pants, white socks, white shoes, baby. Nice gain right there. All right, Reed, I see you. I appreciate you, Shep. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. And loyalty is everything to me. It really is. It really shows, who cares and who doesn't. And I can't care about the people that, that gave up or decided to give up on us. You know what I mean? I got to make sure that I appreciate the people that are here. But that's the problem. We need the people to be here and support. Hand off to A.J. Dillon. First down, Packers. Let's go. And even if it's just like, showing up and stopping by, and having a little conversation with me and the mods, even if donos aren't possible, that's okay. Or keep up with me because I'm going to always check up on people that are close to me on like Instagram or Twitter X and whatnot. And shout out to all the people watching on Twitter X as well. But I think that, as a group, it's been a failure, this year compared to what we had in 2022. And I don't want to feel that as a group we're failing. I want to make sure we're winning as a group. That way we can support each other as a group, right? First down, Packers. Move the chains. But it is a collective effort. And honestly, if it didn't bother me or if I didn't care, I wouldn't bring it up. But I think that sometimes people, they're going through the motions, they're going through their own thing, and then they fail to realize, oh man, maybe we have been kind of hurting, the overall product by not showing up. And if one person isn't, then it's two, then it's five, then it's 10, and it snowballs like the opposite of having a dono train. It's like, you have one person, then it leads to another and another, and things snowball. But they also snowball in the opposite direction if things don't, happen or people don't show up. It hurts the channel tremendously. You can ask me and you can ask Sarah. So, but again, I'm not a quitter. I'm always going to grind. I'm always going to hustle. I'm not going to try to have bad blood. I'm not going to try to have grudges. Like I said, I'm here to be able to help people. I'm here to be able to, do my dreams and then be able to actually hang out and watch football together because that's what it's about. We already got as much bullshit in our lives that we have to go through personally. This should be a safe place where we can bond together and enjoy football and sports and wrestling. Big fact. Second down and 7. Man in motion. Love under center. Watson. Handoff. Good tackle by the Chiefs. And I'll get photos for the three of you once we go to a commercial break. Thumbnail took a minute to do, but I wanted to make sure I got Jordan Love on that. And obviously on the left, we got Patrick the Clone Mahomes and Jordan Love. I think it turned out pretty good. I was actually going to do like a snow one, but then the snow got cleared up. So then I had to change plans, and they cleared up some of the bad weather that they had maybe early on. So third down and 2. I love you guys too, a lot. And again, like I said, it's like when you're in a relationship, and when someone stops caring, they don't say anything, right? So obviously if I'm saying something, I care, and it's not about, oh, I'm trying to be rich or anything like that. I just want to be able to have our group come together because I feel there's been a lot of distance. And once you go away, and then it leads from one person to the next, you want to make sure we're growing, and if some of the heavy hitters and mods, and the regulars are having a hard time getting here, what is going to make any new person want to be a part of this channel if the regulars can't even be here on a regular basis? Do you feel me? So it needs to be a better effort overall. First down and 10. Packers and Chiefs. Shotgun set. Little flip. Dylan with a gain of about 4 or 5. Allen in the building. What's good? I'm not sure if really Finley that the Eagles got exposed. Jalen got hurt. They are two of the best teams in the NFL, and the Eagles could win at home or on the road, and I think the Niners could win at home or on the road. And who did the win mean more to? Who had more losses? San Francisco. So obviously they came in more motivated, and when you come in as the more motivated team, a lot of times, like I said, you're going to end up getting the dub. So. Could the Eagles have won that game? Of course. But again, it's all about that extra motivation. And even with, Dre Greenlaw and then the security guy kind of getting into it and then both getting ejected and whatnot. But again, a regular season win is a regular season win. And at that point, the Eagles only had one loss. So it's not going to necessarily hurt them. They just need to make sure Jalen is healthy for their long-term goals to be able to win the Super Bowl. So. I mean, any fan base, Finley, any fan base that if you're 10-1 and you're a Super Bowl caliber team and you made the Super Bowl, the Eagles already are going to have kind of a cocky fan base, but they're passionate, and they're going to be like that. The Niners, if they were 10-1, they would be the same way. Almost any franchise that would be 10-1, you'd be acting that way, especially if you went to the Super Bowl last year, lost, and then you're probably the Super Bowl favorite this year. But again, like you said, karma. can be a bitch. And if you end up being a little bit too extra, like on social media or their fan base, the sports gods are always watching, and they will at some point or another slap you in the face and beat you down and say, you know what, that's a little bit too much. Yeah, you're acting a little bit too brand new. You think you're so much better than everyone else. Let's get San Fran to come in here and just fucking uppercut your ass, and then give you a little taste of humble pie. And that's what happened today. And I'm actually happy, because I think that it is true. Some of the Eagles fans are passionate, some are toxic, some are extra, braggy when they don't need to be. But again, that's just kind of the nature when you end up being the top dog or the best team in the NFL. You're going to get good fans, you're going to get bad fans, you're going to get humble fans, you're going to get confident fans, and you're going to get annoying fans. And we get that in every fan base. So, I think it was good to kind of put them down a pedestal. But in the Eagles' minds and their coaching staff with Sirianni and their fans, they still think that they're winning the Super Bowl, which they should. They are still one of the best teams in the NFL. So, Sarah with $1.45. Let's get to a hundo. Let's go. Much better than yesterday. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. We played like shit. I'm glad Rachaad White and Mike Evans were able to give me monster points in fantasy, and the Bucs are terrible. We're slightly better than you guys. I thought you guys played pretty good, but the Bucs started off 3-1, and we've been on like a 5-6 game slide, and then we'll pick up a win here and there. Play action fake, bootleg, love. First down, Packers. But I thought that the game was pretty competitive for the most part. And, both of our teams are the worst teams in the division. But let's be honest, everyone that is in the NFC South is terrible. It's pretty clear that everyone sucks. Now, we might not all suck as bad as the Patriots, who are openly tanking without saying that they're tanking. But the Saints, at least they have firepower when they go to Taysom. They were getting blown out. They only lost 33-28 to the Lions. Falcons won 13-8 against the Jets. They're not that good. And then obviously we only beat you by 3. So the NFC South is like the worst division in football by far. And hopefully we can end up being one of the better divisions in a couple years if we can improve the quarterback position. But I actually thought you guys played pretty well, but I didn't want to win that game. I was actually hoping that we would lose. Once you start off 3-1, I want to lose every game after that because I didn't want to make the playoffs. I'm still trying to get Michael Penix Jr., Quinn Ewers. I'm trying to get like the quarterback of the future for my Bucs. I don't want Baker. He's not good enough. He's good enough, to win you, maybe at the very best 500 ball, but most of the time you're going to be under 500 with him unless the O-line and all the receivers and all the running backs and all the defensive players step up and play better than expected. But Baker is not good enough for me to believe that I can get to an NFC championship game with. And if that's the case, we need to move on or have another quarterback in the room to challenge him other than Kyle Trask, because bottom line, Baker, he's like a top 20 quarterback. Sometimes he'll play like a top 10 once or twice a year, but realistically, he's like 15th to 20th. That's kind of where he sits. He's not going to be a top 12 guy. He's normally going to be top 15 to top 20 with 1 or 2 performances where he goes off to Mike Evans, where it's going to make him look like a top 10. But week in and week out, he is not a top 10 quarterback. Nowhere near that. So, Chris Godwin's stats have been affected the most from going from Brady to Baker. And obviously, when Brady was there, he would get Godwin involved and Evans. But now with Baker, he only trusts Evans, and Godwin is kind of sitting there with this shitty stat line, looking like he's like a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. He's still a wide receiver 2, but he doesn't get the looks. So I feel kind of bad for him, but that's another reason why I didn't draft him in fantasy. Big facts. Mike Evans and Rachaad White, and those were the guys to go. So let's go, baby. No, fuck Ritter. No, I told you, Ritter ain't good enough either. Ritter, Heineke, all those guys are not good enough. You know what I mean? Not good enough whatsoever. Honestly, all the teams in the NFC South could and should get a quarterback. Ritter and Heineke, see you later. Get someone new. Either this year or next year. Maybe Shedeur Sanders the following year. And Michael Penix Jr., maybe for the Bucs. And then even the Saints, could consider, somebody, but with the money they paid with Carr, they're kind of stuck at this point. Shotgun set, 3rd down and 4. First down, Packers. No, I don't want no fucking Ritter. If I was going to have Ritter, that's like having Baker. sometimes good, sometimes bad. I'm already dealing with that. So no thanks. You know what I mean? And like I said, they did make the college football playoff at Cincinnati, and he has potential. But for Ritter to be able to get the most out of his potential, he would have to go somewhere like San Francisco and be coached up with Kyle Shanahan and have those play calls with all of that supporting cast. Then Ritter would be able to succeed like Brock Purdy. But if he's not in a situation like that, then it ain't going to work. And I think you know that as well. Shotgun set. Love, hands off. Oh, A.J. Dillon down to the one. Okay, baby. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the people that are loyal to the soil, not just going where people are popular, not just going where people have more subs than what we have here or more people in the room. Like I said, honesty, loyalty, respect, those are so important to me, not only in my life, but, the guidelines on this channel as well. And for the people that have been loyal, I will never forget it. So once we end up blowing up and we end up taking that next step, I'm definitely going to be gifting and taking care of those people that take care of me. For the people that decided to leave and come back, or the people that left and never come back, well, we already know what's going to, happen there. Like I said, the vibe and the relationship is not the same. So big facts. So I got to get photos up for Mo Gumbo and Odin and Shep and Sarah. So first, I know Mo Gumbo's not here, but let me just throw up a couple Saints photos for him real quick. You always want to make sure you're taking care of people, regardless if they're in the room. They may be watching, they may be busy, but that's just what you do. You make sure you show that love and you show that appreciation. All right, here we go. Got to make sure I get the Saint logo here. Just know you can't be skipping corners. Okay. All right, here we go. And then Sarah, what would you like? Odin's son, what would you like? Shep, what would you like? You let me know. But I got Taysom Hill in fantasy. I'm a Bucks fan because I'm not stupid. I know that he's got the ability to get 10 to 25 points if they just use him. Honestly, he had a couple touchdowns robbed from him that when he got down to the one, they went to AK-41. But Taysom Hill could have had a 25 to 30-point day today, but then he got kind of robbed, towards the goal line. Where, I mean, I get it. You can definitely go to AK-41. That's what you're supposed to do. But sometimes you got to reward the guy that's actually getting you there. Big facts. Appreciate you, Mo Gumbo, with a $20 dono. Let's see if I can squeeze in an AK-41 here real quick, too. Taysom's the man. And anytime someone has that ability to put up those monster numbers, they deserve a roster spot on my bench. But as long as I got Laporta, and he doesn't get hurt, we should be good to go. Tranquil going back to the locker room. I hope he's okay. Michael Pittman Jr. proving this year, finally, not only to the Colts fans, but to people like me, that he is the number one. As long as he keeps getting targets like that, Love, wide open on the bootleg, touchdown, Packers. And you're going to get a lot of back and forth in this game. All right, Jordan Love, I see you. Extra point is up, and it's good. Because it doesn't matter if it's Gardner Minshew. It doesn't matter if it's going to be AR. Typically, with a guy like Michael Pittman, Jr., he's going to get probably most games 10 to 14 targets or 8 to 14 targets, almost every game. So if you're going to get that many looks and you end up getting 7 out of 8 or 10 out of 14, and then chances are you're probably going to get in the end zone if not every game, every other game, sometimes multiple times in a game. That's definitely worthy. But the other guys could be upgraded, and you can get better pieces there, but one piece at a time. But nice win against the Titans. But again, that's a game you should have won. But again, you don't have your starting quarterback, and it shows you how important it is to have a decent backup. And Gardner Minshew, he fucks up sometimes, right? We know that, but still, he's one of the top 10 backups in the league. So big facts. Yes. Chuba. Chuba. All right, come on, Kansas City. Let's go, Chiefs. Your turn, baby. Feeding off that home crowd. All right, here we go. And again, the Packers have been playing much better ball, within the last few weeks. First 8 weeks of the season, they played like shit. But the last 3 weeks, last month, they played much, much better, primarily on that defensive side of the ball. And then Love has been getting a little bit better with his accuracy, too. So, all right, come on, Mahomes. I need fantasy points, baby. I would love for him to throw at least 2 touchdown passes. I mean, ideally, 3 or 4 would be great, but you got to respect Green Bay's defense. But if they can open it up like that with some screens, and also it depends if they go to Rashee Rice like as a Tyreek, like a focal point in the offense. And the moment that they decide Rashee Rice is going to be our Tyreek Hill, that's when the Chiefs are going to take off. That's the honest truth. Stop going to Noah Gray and Justin Watson and MVS and, McCole Hardman when some of these guys are hurt. I know now, but you're going and spreading it around too much, right? It's not like the enemy is there. I feel that if you kind of go to the guys that you know that are going to help you win, whether that, because McKinnon is hurt. So that means Travis Kelce, Pacheco, and Rashee Rice. Those are the guys that should be getting 70 or 80% of the looks. There shouldn't be that many looks that are going to other than those 3 guys. And if someone were, then it would be Mahomes with his legs or maybe a guy like Jerick McKinnon. But honestly, I don't have any trust in a lot of those other guys besides those main 3, Pacheco, Kelce, Rashee Rice. So you might as well start using Rashee Rice as a number 1 receiver. It's going to help you win. Unless you want to continue to have the most drops in the NFL. Not Mahomes' fault. It's not like Mahomes is a shitty quarterback. He did not regress. It's not like his throws have been off and terrible. It's the receivers are dropping the football. The backup tight ends are dropping the football. Big facts. Hybrid in the building. What's good? I'm not sure if the committee got it right. Imagine being the number 1 team in the nation, right? And then you have 1 loss to your rival, right? SEC hasn't won very many games. You actually have to look at all the circumstances on how they end up doing the voting. But how do you go undefeated number 1 and you don't drop down to 2, 3, or 4? You go out of 4, you drop like 4, 5, 6 positions. I don't know, man. Like, I don't. Imagine if that was your favorite team. Or like if it was me and it was Oregon and we're number 1 and we're coming off a natty, we lose 1 game and then we don't even make the playoff. I don't know, man. I do like the 4 teams that are there, and Florida State is not there. I actually think Georgia was more deserving than Texas, in my opinion. The matchups are fire, if you're actually looking at the matchups overall. But, you got to have some empathy and sympathy. And if you don't, then obviously you're just like, fuck Georgia, this, that, they got it right. But I don't think they did. Like I said, everyone is going to be biased, to a certain degree on what they think is right. But if you're looking at the college football playoff, it doesn't make any sense for them to drop off out of the 4 when they had 1 loss. Now, is Michigan, Alabama going to be great? Absolutely. Is Washington, Texas going to be great? Absolutely. But it could have been Michigan, Bama, Washington, and Georgia. It could have been that. So, Texas is really the one that took Georgia's spot. So, I think the matchups are amazing. It's probably the best 4 based off matchups besides Georgia, because that would be awesome as well. But Georgia, ended up getting the they got the middle finger, and they gave Texas, they gave them that spot and whatnot. So, but I'm not sure overall whether you love Georgia or you hate Georgia to act like that was 100% the right decision. And I can also see with Florida State, but they don't have their quarterback, and we already know that they would have got blown out and whatnot. But at least it's not you're not me, and we're playing fucking Liberty. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like that game's not even going to be watchable, even if Bo Nix plays. Nice, Kelsey. First down, Chiefs. TK all day. It's like Oregon's one of the best teams in the nation, and then we end up playing Liberty. People don't even know where the fuck Liberty is. Like, what state is Liberty in? Where is the college? So it is what it is, man. But to me, big hold right there. But to me, Georgia should have slipped down 1, 2 spots, but at the very most 3, and they should have been the 4th team. There should be no way in hell that they did not get in. I mean, you won back-to-back natties, and it's like they almost punished them for that. And then you lose one game to your rival, Alabama, and then all of a sudden you're not good enough? Bullshit. But there is no consistency. Like, remember last year with like TCU. Everyone always likes to remember what's happening now, but they forget what happened last year and the year before. Go, Mahomes. Go, baby. There we go. Michigan deserved to be 1. Washington, you could put at 2. You know what I mean? And then I probably would have went Georgia 3, Alabama 4. But again, maybe they wanted to have that one SEC team in there, and the SEC, obviously they weren't really very good compared to the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. And I saw an alarming stat. I wonder if I still have it here. I think I do. And I'll bring it up to you guys. Third down and 11. Mahomes. On the ground. First down, Chiefs. Go, baby, go. There we go, Pacheco. Go, baby, rip it off. Let's go. Hell yeah, first down, Chiefs. But there was a breakdown of like how many ranked teams and everything that broke down with the SEC. I can't find the post. I'll have to go back and look through my Twitter X. But the record for against like non-conference opponents and a lot of the stats that normally the SEC dominates, the Pac-12 and the Big Ten were much stronger this year. And obviously, the reason Florida State didn't get in as an undefeated team, obviously not having that quarterback there, that's part of the criteria. 12 noon, you know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Come on, Chiefs. Second and goal. I don't know if I've ever that's why it's scary, because literally, you could be deserving and you don't know if you're going to get in. It's all up to this committee. There's no consistency. They say, oh, this factor, but one year it's this factor and the next year it's this factor. It's never consistent. So you never know. You could be number 1 and lose one game and then all of a sudden you're not in, and it doesn't make any sense, and then obviously Florida State will be like, what about us? Well, I get it. You're undefeated. But even if you did have Jordan Travis, you would get fucking obliterated by Michigan, and no one wants to see that bullshit game. So I get the reason why Florida State got left out. But, and it's cool to be able to see the Pac-12 and the Big Ten get representation. But in all honesty, do we really think that all of those other teams after Michigan are that much better than Georgia? Bullshit. Again, it's people being biased. If you think that Georgia's not good, they won the last two fucking natties, and they just got outplayed by Saban and Alabama. I mean, Alabama's Alabama, right? Mahomes steps up in the pocket. Fuck. 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Field goal attempt coming for Harrison Butker. And Mahomes will be able to, get going. You got to remember the Packer defense has been very good. Like I said, on Thanksgiving, the way that the Packers were playing going into that game, like no one thought that they were going to win that game and the defense would be that dominant, but that's what it's been. And so that's why the Packers are more confident, within the last 3 weeks to the last month because of the defense. And then the defense has put Jordan Love in good positions, and Jordan Love completion percentage and his touchdown interception ratio has been much better too. It all goes hand in hand. Field goes up, and it's good. There we go. Yeah, but the thing is, though, Shep, I don't think that you guys would have won it this year. So even if you guys would have made it, I don't think you were going to beat Michigan. It really does favor Michigan now to win the championship. Michigan is at 1. So if I'm looking at who am I going to be rooting for, I'm going to be rooting for Washington because I want to represent the Pac-12. I might be the only Oregon Duck fan that loves Michael Penix Jr. and wants to see the Huskies represent. They probably have the least likely chance to most people because it's like their first time there. They would be getting hated on just like Oregon would if we were there. But I believe in what I see with the product that they have. And I think that they can beat Texas. It should be very close between those two teams. And Bama could beat Michigan. So we don't really know. It's like the first time when you look at the college football playoff and you don't really know. You assume, I would assume most people would assume it's going to be Michigan and Texas. I think most people are assuming, right? But Alabama and Washington as the underdogs could do it. I mean, it's not like they got players. Alabama played great. Milroe played great. Michael Penix Jr. in that defense, they played great. So, it's going to be very exciting to see where it goes. But, there's always going to, like I said, even a couple days ago, that number 5 team is always going to have a legitimate gripe or beat or something that they deserve to get in. And in this year's case, there's 2 teams, 5 and 6, Florida State and with Georgia, that are deserving. So you're never going to get everyone to be happy, unfortunately. So especially when the criteria, they don't stick to a standard. So Michigan, Washington, Bama, Georgia. Yeah. I think that's where if I was voting, that's what I would have done. And I would have had Texas on the outside looking in. Love Quinn Ewers. Would love him on my Buccaneers. I love him. Texas, hook 'em horns. All right, all right, all right. All right, Matthew McConaughey. All right. The Undertaker, giving Quinn Ewers the belt after they ended up winning. Fucking cool. I love the Undertaker, right? But it's like 1-on-1, Georgia and Texas. Does anyone really think Texas would beat Georgia? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there a chance they could win? Yeah, but if they played that game 10 times, Georgia would probably win 7 or 8 times. Texas would win 1, 2, or 3 times. I mean, you can argue all you want, but that's the reality. I don't see Texas winning 8 times out of 10 against a team that was undefeated that barely lost to Bama. So, but again, everyone's perception is going to be different. But I feel that Texas got some favorable, love from the committee, and and whatever reason, that they didn't want to give Georgia a chance to three-peat. If they wanted, like Georgia had the path at number 1, all they had to do was win, and then they punished them by losing to Bama. But what happens if Bama wins the championship this year? What if they beat Michigan and they beat Texas or Washington, and then all of a sudden the Alabama Crimson Tide that we thought had no chance, and then they win it all this year? Then what? So that's what makes sports so interesting, but very, very tough. And I feel Shep's pain, with all that. So, and let me know what you want to do for photos there, Shep, if there's anything specific, Falcons wise. Same thing with Odin's son. Let me know. 7-3 Packers. All right, we got the Michael Pittman here for Sarah. Let me squeeze one more in here for you. I appreciate you guys very much. Let's go. Wide receiver number 1, baby. Love. First down, Packers. He's amazing. That's the best pickup that you guys have had in free agency in probably 10 years. It's a defensive guy. You've seen what he did with the Bengals when he was there, and he's always been a ball hawk. He's vocal. He's got good footwork. He's got great hands. He's a part of the hands team, and I love him. And he's got ability to get pick sixes like we saw him do last week. He's one of my favorite players in the secondary. There's corners, there's safeties, but I've always loved his game from afar. And I thought when you got him, I was like, ooh. I was like, I bet he turns that Falcon defense around, and he definitely has. He's been one of the leaders there. Little end around. Watson, sit down. UGA, Bama, Michigan, and Oregon. Yeah. And now we lose to Washington. We play fucking Liberty. You literally get the worst option out of all the teams. Like we could have gotten like Mizzou, and I would still be pissed if we got that. You know what I mean? But like literally out of all the options that we could have had, you gave us literally the worst one out of them all. Like literally the worst opponent where like no one's even motivated. Like how are you going to motivate the players? How are you going to motivate the fans? Oregon versus Liberty? Where the hell is Liberty? Penn State and Ole Miss? That sucks too. Florida State, Georgia? That'll be good. Ohio State, Missouri? I know Ohio State's pissed that they play Mizzou, but at least it's better than Liberty or Ole Miss. And then you get Michigan, Bama, Washington, Texas. But how the hell is Liberty at 23 in a bowl game against Oregon at 8, right? Ole Miss is 11. Mizzou is 9. So it's like you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then instead of putting the number 12 team in, we play number 23 Liberty. What happened to number 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22? Oh, Liberty, 23. Dumb. Right? Stupid. I'm just so confused. And I get it. If you win your division, even if it's a small division, ACC, MAC, WAC, all that shit, you're going to get a spot. But that's a little fucking ridiculous. Like, you reward us after having a great season with Bo Nix, and now we have to play fucking Liberty? Love? Wide open. This cheap defense does not look good right now. Obviously, they're getting exposed in the secondary. They need improvement there. I mean, at least LSU would have been a bigger name. I mean, I would have rather played like Oklahoma. At least give us a team that is like ranked, 12, through 15, and then, someone there, that to make it actually like kind of enjoyable. But I already know that if we don't play for something big, we lose every bowl game. Just like a couple years ago when we played Iowa State and some Duck fans were like, we're going to win. I said, they got Brock Purdy. We're going to lose. And we did. So we don't win bowl games when they don't mean anything. Some of the players sit out, like Kayvon Thibodeau, or we have players that play, but we get our ass kicked, And so I'm not really looking forward to the bowl game. Will I do a stream for it? Probably, you know what I mean? But it's not going to be exciting. It's like, oh, wow, we beat Liberty. And then what happens if we lose to Liberty? It's be like, Jesus Christ, dude, But I guess that it is what it is. Yeah. Obviously rewarding the Pac-12 and the Big Ten and the Big 12, and so they have one from each conference. But I always thought that this was going to be the first year out of the next 10 years where it's going to get exciting. But you're going to get people that get ripped off, and Georgia got ripped off. But then again, Texas would be feeling the same thing that they got ripped off if they didn't get in. But in all honesty, Georgia should have been number 3 or number 4. Michigan, Washington, Bama, Georgia, or Michigan, Washington, Georgia, Bama. I mean, you either have Bama at 3 or 4, Georgia at 3 or 4. Texas, sorry, you're awesome, but pretty disrespectful. But again, I mean, that's what makes it kind of scary. What if that was Oregon and we were the number 1 seed and then we lose to Washington and then all of a sudden we're not even in? We had one loss and we're not even like, really? So. And I still think Oregon is one of the top 4 teams in the nation. I still think that we are. I think we can match up to anybody in the college football playoff against Michigan, against any of those. So Ohio State, they didn't have a chance, to get in. But again, they chose Texas over Georgia, and we'll find out if that was the right choice or not. But I don't think so. And and then I guess if Georgia loses to Florida State, then they can. Florida State can say, well, we got ripped off, but at least we won this game. But what are the chances of Florida State beating Georgia? Probably 0%. So And Georgia's not going to be happy about that game. Florida State, if they win, they'll be happy. They'll at least prove something. But they'll always be like, "Well, we were undefeated and we got robbed," and they'll always have that moniker. But the robbery for Georgia is bigger than the robbery of Florida State. So I guess we'll wait and see. Unless they're anticipating it being Michigan, Texas, and that's why they did that. Like, they assume Michigan will beat Bama barely with their defense being just as elite as Bama, right? And then they assume maybe Texas will beat Washington. But what happens if we get Alabama, Washington? I think that would be a fire natty too. Any of the four teams, and then if you throw Georgia in the mix too, any of the five teams that are in there would have a great combination of making the natty amazing. But the committee is fucked. So that's all we can say. Second down and 5, 7-3 Packers. I'm thinking Michigan, Washington as well. I'm not only rooting for Washington, but I think that they can beat Texas. I mean, Michael Penix Jr., obviously Quinn Ewers, amazing. And I think that's another part of it. They wanted to do the quarterbacks to kind of showcase them going into the draft. You know what I mean? And Georgia's quarterback, not so good, compared to those bigger names. So I think that was a part of it as well. And then obviously you got J.J. McCarthy and Jalen Milroe. So if you notice, Florida State quarterback injured, right? But obviously you're not going to be able to get there. And then Georgia's quarterback, he's not the same name as a Michael Penix Jr., Quinn Ewers, or J.J. McCarthy. I mean, even Milroe sometimes plays like Justin Fields, right, where he's like kind of shitty, but every once in a while he'll get you a couple touchdowns, and that's what happened yesterday. So. Bama, Texas. I don't think Bama's beating fucking Michigan, though. Michigan is very well-rounded. Michigan's better on offense, in my opinion. And their defense is just as good as Bama's. Touchdown, Packers! Come on, Chiefs. I thought you had a top 3D. Come on now. But this is kind of what I expected. The Packers are going to play well on defense. Love has more confidence. He's going to play better on offense. The Chiefs have to make plays. And if they're going to get exposed in their secondary, what does that mean? Chris Jones. Who Chris Jones? The linebackers and the D ends and the D tackles need to play better to be able to get to Love. If you let Love throw it with no pressure, you're going to lose. Or the game is going to come down to the wire, right? And Mahomes hasn't really been that good this year. The receivers have been doing a lot of drops. They've been really heavily relying on the defense. And now if the defense doesn't show up, you have a chance to lose this game. So, and you got to make sure you're not going away from Pacheco. You have to have a good balanced offense. Yeah. Well, regardless if you care about fantasy points or not, right? The more fantasy points that are on the board, that means that unit is playing better. So if the Chiefs defense has got 15 points, they probably have a pick, maybe a pick six, a fumble. They're getting sack lunches. Yum, yum, yum. But if the lower number is there, that means the defense is playing like shit. Mahomes, if the number is low, he's not playing good. The receivers are not catching or he's getting sacked up. So, it all kind of correlates. The higher the number, the better they're doing. If they don't got a good number, then they're getting dominated on that side of the ball. O-line and D-line need to step up. Let me get some photos up here. What do you want to see, Odin, son? You got something specific you want to see? Sports, football, wrestling? You got something specific? I'm going to throw up a couple quick photos here for Shep, and then I'll do your photos here as well. I love defensive players. One of my favorites right here. And I don't even mind if it's on the rival team. I mean, if you're great, you're great. I mean, it's like if I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, it's like if I had an option to get this on my team to pair up with Antoine Winfield Jr., would I want to? Of course. You'd be an idiot to say no. He looks good in that uniform too. Oh, gang, gang, gang with the red helmet, the best helmet, the helmet you should be wearing. Cheerleader in the back, she's happy. Appreciate you, bro. And let's get Odin's son some photos here to get some. We got to get some Chief. We got to get some Chief Juju going here. 14-3. Let's go. Let's go. Kids can be cruel, man. Adults can be cruel. Let's go, baby. Let's go. And you got, I mean, and the defense for the run defense for the Packers has been much, much better. But you can't be intimidated, by a unit and give up on your star players. You have to make sure in college and in the NFL you can respect that unit. You know that they're good, right? But still, you have to be like, well, our guy's good too. We got Pacheco, and he might be a little undersized, but he'll run over you. So you want to make sure you're continuously giving him opportunities up the gut, running counters, and then maybe some jet sweeps and screen passes. You're going to want to make sure you're mixing it up. It just can't be a halfback dive, 15 times in a row. You're going to have to open it up for him to be able to get loose, because when Pacheco has space, that's obviously when he's most effective. Big facts. I love me some Pacheco. Love, 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 love Pacheco. If I knew Pacheco was going to be like this, I would have got him in fantasy, or at least fucking tried. He'll definitely be drafted much higher in fantasy leagues moving forward. Good pass catcher, too. Come on, Mahomes. There we go. Yeah. First down, Chiefs. $1 million smile from Pacheco, baby. Let's go. That one's a little bit more crisp. We need the crispy HD 4K, not that blurry shit. Swag, swag, swag. Let's go. Let's go, baby. They haven't been utilizing him properly, but also, too, Kyle Pitts is a wasted draft pick. Guys like a top 5 tight end should be like a Sam Laporta type of guy. And until you actually get a better coach, and a better quarterback, I mean, the guy's career is being wasted. Can you imagine? Like, he could literally be a top 5 tight end today. He's got an ability to score a lot, but I think he's losing confidence every game and every year that passes by where they don't utilize him. It's like literally the most talented non-utilized superstar type of player that's not even being used. And hopefully Bijan does get that number. And I'm hoping when you guys get the new quarterback and maybe fire the head coach, you can figure it out. Your offensive line's got some good guards. You got one of the better offensive lines in the country. Right? You got 2 guys up front that are always graded high on PFF. But it's like you need more than just a couple guards. It's like it's good that you have 2 out of 5 that are really, really good, but sometimes 2 out of 5 ain't going to cut it. So I know I did see that he did have his best game of the season, but he should be having good games all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, if you got to go less to Drake London and more to Pitts, like why did you draft him that high if you're not going to use him? What, as a blocker? I mean, Jesus Christ, you could have got a 3rd, 4th rounder that was just going to be a blocker, or a decoy. Shotgun set. Mahomes, first down and 10. Go, baby. Go, Pat. Go, Pat. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Go, Chiefs, go. Go, Chiefs, go. We don't say the other one. Go, Chiefs, go. None of that go, Pack, go bullshit. We ain't saying that shit here. All right, come on, Chiefs. Let's go, baby. Sky Moore in motion. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, first down, Chiefs. But like in games like this, you start to see what areas of improvement that you need. And even though the Chief defense has been like top 3, top 5 all year, secondary still needs work. You know, the guys up front are great. You know what I mean? But the guys on the back end, there needs to be improvement there. And it's not like Jordan Love has been a top 5 or top 10 quarterback this year, but he has been getting much hotter within the last 3 weeks than in the first 8 weeks of the season. Handoff. There we go, Pacheco. Yeah. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First down, Chiefs. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Give that ball to that man. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Pacheco, baby. I like that graphic. I just found that. First down and 10. Mahomes, play action fake. The moment that the Chiefs realize that they use Rice like Tyreek, that's when they're going to take off. If you start dinking and doinking that like 5 or 6 different tight ends and wide receivers, they're never going to get better. And if they keep using that mentality, there's a chance that they may not make the Super Bowl. They can make the AFC Championship game, no doubt. But if you want to be able to beat a hot Miami or an underdog Jags or an underdog Ravens, you're going to have to utilize a one. You have to figure out who the one is and use him. Screen. There we go, Kelsey. There we go. Kelsey's a fucking man. Modern day Gronk, baby. Let's go. Rumbling and a bumbling all over your ass. Let's go, baby. Pacheco. There we go. Let's go, baby. You already know what it is. Time for a tutty. Smell it? You smell it? I'd be going to Kelsey here. That's where I would go. Especially you've been down. It's almost halftime. The defense hasn't been very good. You want to make sure that you're going to your best player, Mahomes to Kelsey. I wouldn't mind Pacheco here either. Or Rice. Rice would be a good option here as well. Kelsey, Rice, Pacheco. I mean, it shouldn't be anybody besides those 3. Mahomes? Run, run, run! Take your hit. Yes! That's my guy. Hell yeah. Flag on the play. Fucking a hold. God damn it. Damn it. But you see what I mean, Shep? With everything, like, we used to have people that were loyal. You know what I mean? There's no reason that we should have the amount of people that we have. But again, there's a lot of, bandwagon people, and it's sad, people being sheep. Shotgun set, no loyalty. So it's like every other, goat or every other mod or every other, heavy hitter. They'd be like, well, it doesn't matter. Fuck him, whatever. It don't matter. It don't matter. Fuck it. Someone else will do it. Someone else will donate. Someone else will show up, and if everyone has that mentality, then, sometimes then there won't be as many people, with there maybe, little or no donos, maybe we don't have a lot of people, we need to get back to, having the people that want to be here. And, that's The sad reality, man. 3rd down and 9. Mahomes. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. But it's like, if I'm doing Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, you know what I mean? I know there's a lot of people out there, that do football and whatnot. But again, are you going to be loyal to the people that were good to you? Are you just going to go somewhere where you're just going to be, person ABC 1, 2, 3, and then donate somewhere else where they don't give a fuck about you, and then you just want to be able to get your name shouted out on a big stream, Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are like that. They don't want to have their little, 5 seconds of fame on a bigger channel, But if that person doesn't give a shit, then eventually you're, donating for what? For what? Just to get some clout. Field goal's up, and it's good. I hope so. Because like I said, compared to last year, I mean, it has been, you know, if I actually showed you how much throughout a month, every single month, you would probably cry. You'd be like, "Holy shit, O-Dog would be homeless." Like, and I'm grinding like every day. It's not like I'm taking fucking 2 weeks off. Like I'm working 30, 31 days in a month and then still not being able to hit like an appropriate number every month. Um, and then, like I said, even the consistent heavy hitters that were coming all the time and donating all the time, it's like we don't even get those anymore. So you go from 10 to 12, to 8 to 6 to 5 to 2 to none. You know, that's always a good thing. That always makes you feel great. When that happens. But I'm still gonna hustle and I'm still gonna grind. I know my talent and I know my worth, and you know, sometimes I feel that maybe YouTube isn't for me. You know what I mean? Because they don't appreciate what I do. It's like maybe I need to go find another platform where I can actually be appreciated by people. Obviously, some people, like a lot of y'all that are in the room, you guys, will love and appreciate, but there's a lot that that take me for granted, and it's like going into a movie theater and sneaking in for free. At some point, if you know that this is my full time job and I got no other income coming in, and I need people and I need support more than anybody, especially at my sub count, and then if people decide still to say fuck him, it's like you're really not only hurting me, but you're hurting everyone else in the room and the overall channel like tenfold. Like it's like other channels have so many other people they can pick up the slack, but if we don't have the other people to pick up the slack, it's like I got, you're going from first string guys all the way to sixth string guys or nobody, that's rough. Oh, you can type angry. You're good. But I kind of had a feeling that this would happen. Like I said, the trends, you just have to get to a point, as a Chief fan, that you guys you're just not as good this year. You know what I mean? Like whether you guys want to hear it or not, but if you're gonna, get it from someone like me that just keeps it 100 and keeps it real, you guys had some monster success. You guys were the best team in the world for like 3, 4 years in a row, and it finally caught up to you that you're not anymore. You were. Now you're still good, but you're not as good as you were. You're getting exposed. Like in the passing game, in the secondary, and I don't really see improvements. So it's like you might be able to get to the Super Bowl, but I don't think you would win it. And obviously you can get to the AFC Championship game, but you may not win it this year. I mean, you still got Mahomes and you got Reed and you got Kelsey, but it doesn't have that same aura and vibe and swagger. Like this team is not as good. And it's okay to understand that. You have to go through the ups and the downs. The Chiefs aren't just going to be the best team in the world every year that Mahomes is playing. You're going to have bad years. You're going to have off years. You're going to have injuries, but the lack of production on offense and defense is very clear. So, Toby in the building. What's good? Love? Good tackle right there. Yeah, like most of us, we don't even know what it's like. Besides obviously with me, like in 2002, with Gruden and being able to have All Scott and Rondé Barber and Lynch and Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp, that's never going to happen again. I had one of the best teams that was created, with like 2,000 Ravens and 85 Bears for defense. And then I never thought Brady, Gronk, and AB, Bruce Arians were going to come, so I got kind of lucky. But for the most part, the Buccaneers are ass. The Falcons usually, like with Shep, they're not good. It's like the Saints. They had the best record in the NFL for 40 years, but they got no Super Bowls out of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, each team is going to go through different types of directions. And like with the Panthers, obviously, with Finley, they had their moments. Jake Delhomme, Cam Newton, but they just weren't good enough to get the Lombardi. So most of the NFC South, doesn't know what it's like to win. The Bucs at least the one team that got it done. Saints got one. I got two. And we're still going to be waiting on the Falcons and the Panthers, and hopefully they get better and better. So. No, there's 0% chance Ohtani goes to the Blue Jays. He's going to fucking Canada. He's going to fucking Toronto. He'll go to Los Angeles. 0% chance the Blue Jays. I mean, even though Toronto does have a big Asian community up there, a lot of diversity, a lot of different types of race of people and restaurants and vibe, but you know, going to Los Angeles, that's more likely. But we will see. You never know. I guess. I guess it just depends on money and what he personally wants. So I bet. I bet. 'Em. Yeah, but I'm just I don't know. I'm sick and tired of being disrespected, man. I'm sick and tired of putting in so much hard work and effort. You know what I mean? But again, I have to appreciate the people that appreciate me, and then the people that are fake, and the people that are not supporting. Then I don't got any love for them. You know what I mean? It's just bottom line. It's you got to be able to appreciate what you have, and for the other people, it is what it is. So, but loyalty is everything. And I notice everything. I don't forget anything. I notice every single detail. 14-6 Packers. But I told you, Shep, imagine if you didn't show up today, or if I didn't talk to you today. You know what I mean? It's like how many days in a row do I have to stream and grind it out? You know what I mean? To get to a point where I actually can fucking feel appreciated for all the hard work and the effort. Shotgun set, third down and 3. Oh, nice catch. First down, Packers. Twelve for 13 for Love. That's ridiculous. It's like Kansas City doesn't even have a defense out there. Come on, Chiefs. You're letting Jordan Love throw out there like he's like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady on a heater. It's like, how can you be a top 3 defense, top 5 defense? I get it, you're on the road. You know what I mean? And if you already know that they're going to need help, on the offensive side of the ball, this doesn't look like an 8-3 team. Something big has to happen. Wow. Patrick Taylor, not even Aaron Jones. Wow. Well, at least you're confident about that, Shep. because I'm not. Because I've already been doing this for a whole year. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for 11 years. You know what I'm saying? And to go from what we had in 2022 and the betrayal that I feel that I've gotten, and then my feelings that I have now. I don't want to be jaded and have hate and feel bitter, but you know, plus doing NFL, college football, and basketball, and baseball, and hockey, and NASCAR, and wrestling, and you know, I hope you're right. I hope you're right because I mean, I definitely feel betrayed. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have gone out of my way for certain people if I knew that this is the way they were going to treat me this year. You know, most people don't get it because you're not me. You're not in my shoes. I mean, you don't understand. Like it takes an hour to 2 hours to make a thumb. How much hard work and effort comes into every stream. Some of y'all get it. Like Chef, you get it with all the hard work that you do at your job and getting underappreciated. You know, But ultimately, you get underappreciated, but you're still getting a good paycheck every week, every day, every week, every month. I'm not. I'm putting in just as much as effort as you, except you get frustrated, but you get the money at the end of the day, and then you can, be pissed, but at least you can pay your bills, buy something for yourself, and do that. I can't. You know what I mean? That's what makes it difficult. It's like I don't need to have people like message me and say, "Oh, I think you're the best," or give me this like praise or whatever. I just want to be able to get treated fairly, and get what I feel like I deserve, 'Cause I already know, that I'm one of the best in the world at what I do. I just want to be able to get treated like it. I don't want to get treated like I'm a fucking scrub, like the channel sucks or like, we don't have good content here. Uh, You know, but I also know that with YouTube and Twitch and social media, there's a lot of sheep. There's a lot of people that don't make their own decisions. They're followers. They just follow wherever the people are at. You know what I mean? And I get that. That's how it is. But it would be nice for people to make up their own mind, and their own opinions about things. And you'll only have a small percentage of those people that are on, social media. They actually have their own opinions, and they just don't act like sheep and follow wherever the numbers are. Did they really? Dude, RKO them, bro. But at least if they cut your pay, at least you're getting pay. I mean, I don't even know what pay is anymore. 1,500 people watching me, not even one. Imagine how that would make you feel, bro. Taking like an hour to 2 hours to make a thumbnail, grinding it out, giving your all, blood, sweat, and tears, and then not even one person can show love. Sad as shit, bro. First down and 10. Trips left. But you guys mean a lot. And like I said, if it wasn't a thing, I wouldn't bring it up. You know what I mean? But I feel that the people that are important to the channel need to know what's going on if you care. If we care about each other, we care about the channel, the people that are in it, and everything that's going on. Oh, incomplete. I mean, imagine if I didn't say anything, and then what? I'm just going to be streaming every day at a fucking zero. You know what I mean? I'm just like giving my blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm fucking just getting a zero here, a zero there, and then I just have to act like I got a smile on my face and I'm happy about it, and everything's all good. 5 here, $2 here, zero here. Bullshit, bro. But again, it's all good. I mean, the people that show up and the people that support. I mean, you're on a whole nother level in my book compared to those people that aren't. And I keep receipts. You better believe that. And when things get better, those are the people that I'm going to take care of fucking heavy. Like you're going to get treated like you got a fucking rich uncle out here in Oregon, and that'll be me. Like I said, but for those people that turn their back on me, don't fucking talk to me. Don't fucking message me outside the screens. Don't if, don't act like you're my friend and you support the channel or support the people that are working hard. So you can go to to some other fake channel and spend your time there. Third down and 15. Shotgun set. Little flip. Good defense there by the Chiefs. And I think also too, if it was just like once in a while, like we're doing good, we're doing good, we're doing good, and then you have like an off day, we're doing good, we're doing good, we're doing good, and then that's fine. Then it doesn't even get brought up at all. Besides me and Sarah bitching back and forth like on like a direct message on like Twitter X or like Instagram, and then we just have to kind of try to motivate and get past it and whatnot. But when it becomes like a reoccurring theme, it's just ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I need to do. Packers with the punt. Wow. Yeah, and actually, to be honest, for some of those people, I actually wish that they would never come back. You know what I mean? Like I said, don't come back. You know what I mean? If that's how it is, don't come back. You know, I only want people that are going to be loyal to the soil, man. Take the shot. I don't even know what a shot is anymore. 14-6. I'm even scared to look at my fantasy to see what Mahomes has. What does he have? Like a couple points? 4.92. Jesus Christ. Maybe I should have just did Sam Howell, knowing that I knew he was going to get like 16 to 19, even though they were going to get obliterated. Good thing I have Dobbs still, Howell, and Mahomes. No, I mean, I'm not doing it. I mean, and honestly, it's like, when things are going a certain way, right? It's like, oh, you can lean towards, wherever, dispensary or start drinking and whatnot, but you have to have money to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I've tried to be able to, be a better person and change my ways, but it's like I can't even go down into the deep end. I can't even make bad decisions because I don't even have any money to make bad decisions. That's a terrible thing. I guess that's a terrible thing and a good thing at the same time. The money isn't there for me to make bad decisions because of what's happening, but you know. All right, let me know what you want to do for photos here while we're at halftime. Otherwise, I'll go check up on Paisley Pup. Yeah, and I don't like to be like this either, but it's like sometimes you hit a breaking point. You know what I mean? Like enough is enough. You know what I mean? And yeah, you take two more because I haven't even had a shot in. I can't even tell you. No beer, no alcohol, no soda, no fast food. I haven't had fast food in like 6 months. like, compared to having it like 3 times a day, or a couple times a day. So, but I've lost a lot of weight. Paisley's good. I mean, honestly, if I didn't have Paisley and a couple people in my life, I don't know where I would be mentally. I would be in a very dark place. I'll tell you that. And I probably wouldn't be streaming every day either. I'd probably be in a very, very dark place. So, but let me know what you guys want to look at photos here at halftime. Like I said, you let me know. You guys want to look at food, whatever you want. Food actually doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, I'll get you whatever you want, bro. You guys are some of the most important people in my life, you know what I mean? And like I said, for some of those other people, don't come back. Don't come back. Don't come back at all. If you're gonna stay away, don't come back. For the people that are close, yeah, come back. You know, but it's like I don't need any bandwagon type of shit. It's like either gonna be loyal or you're not. So and then hopefully that we can replace those people that don't come back. That we can get people that that can bankroll the channel that can actually help us. I'm telling you, once you start going to Rashee Rice as the number one option, things will get much, much better. And the longer that they decide not to go to him, then it's going to take longer and longer. You have to be able to establish who your wide receiver one is. You got your RB1, you got your tight end one, right? You already know, okay, RB1, right? Pacheco, you got it. You're done. McKinnon is good backup, but he's hurt, right? Then you got tight end one. Why aren't you establishing a wide receiver one? That's the problem. And obviously, if I can notice that, then I know a lot of people have noticed that as well. I mean, all you're doing is hurting your team by going to guys that don't deserve those extra looks, where you could be going to one guy and then he could end up putting up monster numbers for you each week, not just in fantasy, but like real life. I got you. Anything for you guys. You know that. Yeah, he is the number one, but they don't treat him like the number one with targets. Normally, prior to last week, he was getting about 5 targets a game. That's not number one status. That's just like any other guy on the team. 3 here, 4 here, 5. You need to be given 10 targets a game to that one guy. Like 8 to 12, 8 to 14, just like how Sarah does it with Michael Pittman Jr., whether it's fucking AR, Richardson, or with, Gardner Minshew. You have to make sure that that one guy is being targeted heavy, especially if they've shown like flashes. I mean, if they're scoring when they only get 5 targets, what do you think happens if they get 12? Maybe they score twice. It's like, let's do some food here for Shep. Chief defense is nowhere near what it is if he's not there either. You lose him, and then you go being back middle of the pack, or even further back. And if the offense ain't good and then the defense is not good, that's not a good look for them long term. Then all the other teams start catching up. or pass them. But at least you got some Super Bowls out of it. You know what I mean? But of course, you want more. You want to be able to maximize as much as you can. You know. No, crab cake. Chris Sims is a fucking idiot. Anything that he says is just like dog shit coming out. It's like there's nothing even worthwhile to listen about. He's terrible. You know what's not terrible or dog shit? A nice old bowl of gumbo, like right here. The complete opposite of Chris Sims. He should be ashamed of himself. Absolute dog shit trash. It's like Ocho and all these other motherfuckers that are on TV. Terrible. A disgrace. Like you're making people dumber as fans. You're not making people smarter. You're making people dumber. That looks fire. Some jambalaya, gumbo. So this is gumbo. That looks good. I mean, they both look good. I got you, bro. That's a small. You're like that's one piece. Like how many pieces of pizza is that? Like 10? I don't even know what pizza tastes like anymore. It's been so long. I have been craving it though, but I still haven't had it. Apparently, pizza and food cost money, and if you don't have money, then you can't splurge on things like food. You have to do things like air and fingernails instead. So 14-6 Packers. Let's go Chiefs. Oh, really? That sounds amazing. Mahomes, you got to have at least 2 touchdown passes to be able to give them a chance in this game. I appreciate you guys and love you guys a lot. You know who you are. Mahomes. And plus, those are the people that you want. You don't want the fakes. You want the people that are real, the people that are going to be genuine, the people that are going to support. And try to make an effort. So sometimes it's tough to see people go, but it's going to be better for us, and we just have to hopefully get new people to be able to make up for the old. Let's go, baby. Let's get some TDs for Odin's son. Come on, Mahomes. Come on, Pat. Come on, Pat. Holding. Fuck. Coming back. God damn it. It took too long. Running that bootleg. Offensive line needs improvement dramatically. Secondary needs help dramatically, and they need to be able to find that Bieniemy type of swag. Since he left, it seems like everything kind of left with him. They were able to do it without Tyreek, but they are not able to do it without Tyreek and Bieniemy both gone. And Tyreek is still proving that he's arguably the best athlete and best receiver. See those touchdowns earlier today with Tua? Ridiculous. Then they did the whole roller coaster jump off for the celebration. I wish Tyreek was still there on Kansas City, honestly. They should have paid him the money. And if you would have paid him the money and he would have stayed, then we're not talking about the Chiefs and the offense struggling at all. Then you don't have to worry about like Kadarius Toney or Sky Moore or any of these other guys. Justin Watson, Noah Grays. You still have Pacheco, McKinnon, Kelsey, and Tyreek. First down and 25. Like Tyreek is like once in like a lifetime player, not once in a generation, once in a lifetime. Like over a period of 100 years, you're going to find one player like that, and that was it. Uh-oh, Pacheco is down. Fuck, and they already have McKinnon with an injury. Uh-oh. It's like inconsistent play, and like I said, to me, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a 4-team race, I think, down the stretch between the Chiefs, right? The Dolphins, who I feel that are very hot. Their defense has been getting better. I actually think that there's a very good chance the Dolphins are representing the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. But, it depends on the injuries and if they can stay healthy. But, and then you got like the Jags and the Ravens that are kind of sleepers, but the Ravens, don't have Mark Andrews. And if you don't have Mark Andrews, you're not going to the Super Bowl. If you did, it would give you a hell of a lot better of a chance since the Chiefs are struggling and Miami's kind of wishy-washy sometimes, and the Jags are kind of wishy-washy too. But I think that the Jags and the Dolphins are probably the two teams that have the best chance to like surprise people and go further, just because the Chiefs aren't as good as they were in previous years. So, but I hope that they end up being okay here. Sometimes you got to learn, that like what pieces are really important. And it is a team, not just a me. You got to be able to have a team. You got to have depth, and the positions need to be fixed. O line, secondary. Maybe another play caller coming in there with Andy. Like, shit, the way that the Bills are progressing, they may never go to a Super Bowl. Like talking about like Herbert, everyone wants to clown on him. Hell, it's not his fault that the receivers like Quentin Johnson can't goddamn catch the ball. You know what I mean? It's not his fault. But then Allen, he's got talent, but he didn't have a whole lot of talent before Diggs came, and now everything is crumbling with him and Von Miller. Like the Bills had their chance to try to get a Super Bowl and win against Mahomes. They couldn't climb that mountain, and now the Chiefs aren't as good, and they still can't climb the mountain. Like the Bills have regressed even worse than the Chiefs have. Chiefs are still good enough to make the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game. The Bills are only going to be able to dream about it and play about it in Madden. And it's like they have talent, but they don't have enough. Coaching needs to be better. O-line needs better. They need a top 10 running back. They need defensive players. But every single year, they just think that they're good enough on how the team sits, and it clearly is not. I mean, it feels like it could be, Chiefs. To me, it's Chiefs or Dolphins. But I think that, Dolphins got a little bit of an edge for me just because Chiefs went last year, and you're probably not going to get Chiefs-Eagles again. So who's it going to be? Are we going to get a Dolphins-Niners Super Bowl? I could see that happening. I could see a Dolphins-Eagles Super Bowl. And then if the Chiefs do make it, it probably would be Chiefs and Niners, or because I don't think you're going to get Chiefs Eagles again. You're not going to get the same two teams that played the year before. I mean, it just statistically and historically speaking, it doesn't happen. Now, are they two of the 5, 6 best teams in the NFL still? Yes, but we'll have to wait and see with injuries and if things improve late down the stretch. Second down and 22, screen pass, block for him. They need leadership on offense. And like I said, I feel besides Mahomes and Kelsey, who else is going to be a leader? You need a leader. Oh, shit. Oh, his leg almost got broken right there. Jesus Christ. It's like that sideline guy that was holding the sticks that broke his leg earlier today in the Saints and the Lions game. I don't know. You guys probably saw that on Twitter, X, or Instagram. It was nasty. Go, Pat! Yeah! Let's go! First down, Chiefs. But even with the Chiefs' struggles, are they still good enough to be the number one team in the AFC? And the answer is yes. But like I said, it's all about consistency. Like what kind of Miami, that's probably the biggest threat, is the Miami Dolphins, in my opinion. Them and the Jags. But I don't really trust Trevor. And I like what the Miami's doing on offense and defense. But again, and then, with Lamar and the Ravens, it's like sometimes they play good on an offense and sometimes they're non-existent on offense, but great at defense. And they have no Mark Andrews. So if it ends up being the Ravens and Chiefs, I would still take the Chiefs. If it ends up being Chiefs-Jags, I would probably still take the Chiefs, but the Jags defense is really scary. It's good. And then, Dolphins defense has improved too. So come on now. I didn't really know, to be honest with you. I didn't know, I felt the Niners were going to be the more motivated team, since Brock Purdy got hurt and, they have 3 losses. The Eagles won, you know what I mean? And I thought it could go either way, but, San Francisco was the more desperate team, and then they, blew them out of the water. But again, regular season is one thing, but, the playoffs is going to be different. But again, you may not see the same two teams in the Super Bowl. You may not get the Chiefs and the Eagles. It might end up being the Dolphins and the Niners. Like I could definitely see that happening. So, but I didn't necessarily have a particular one way or another. Those are the 2 best teams in football. So honestly, the Eagles had the home field advantage, but I knew the Niners were the more motivated team. But I didn't know if Brock Purdy would have time if the Eagles defense would get to him. And if the Eagles defense would have gotten to him, then I thought, oh, maybe, they could do it. But obviously the Niners had a very good game plan, and they were more motivated. They were the team that lost last year, so they were hungry. And even though they were on the road, it does show you that those are the two best teams in football. And they can both win on the road when need be. So, not JT. How are you, bro? Walltown in the building. What's good? Yeah, well, Carr was a mistake. They definitely need to blow up the whole team. Allen is not a good head coach. He's a coordinator. Carmichael's not a good play caller. Carr is terrible at quarterback. There we go. Almost. There's so many problems. The offensive line struggled early on. Again, we used to have a lot of Saints fans that would represent and show love, and almost all of them have disappeared. It's like when the Saints are good, they show up and hang out with me. When the Saints are bad, they all disappear like Casper the Ghost. Which is kind of sad because, like, if you're a real fan, you show up regardless win, lose, or draw. Touchdown, Chiefs. But I guess apparently it doesn't work that way. It's like they only show up when things are good. Things are bad, then they disappear. But at least Walltown showed up today, so that's good. But the whole NFC South is trash. The Falcons are trash. Saints are trash. Bucks are trash. Panthers are trash. But out of all the trash, someone's got to win between the Saints and the Falcons. So if I'm third place, that's where I want to be because I want to be able to have a third place schedule. I want to get Michael Penix Jr. in the draft, and then that way I can eventually compete and we can get better moving forward. So. Here we go, Pacheco. It's not a passing touchdown for Mahomes, but at least it's a tutty, baby. Nice job, Pacheco. 2-point conversion. 9 for 13 since 2019. But what do you do here? That little shovel pass to Kelsey, if you try doing something like that, is that what you're going to do? Because teams are going to, already kind of know that, that might be coming. Like that swagger on the offense is not there anymore, and hopefully they'll get it back. 2-point conversion attempt. Man in motion. Hand off to Pacheco, nothing. He hesitated, and that was great defense there. They should have went for a passing play. You know what? You have a better chance of winning the division than losing the rest of the games like Tampa. So, like, we started off 3-1 and went like on a 6 or 7 game skid. Yeah, we'll win 1 or 2 in between that and whatnot, but. Yeah, maybe we can get a pick six or a fumble or a touchdown. Yeah, but the main thing is like, it shows you, the Breeze era was special, and you had to capitalize when it was there, but Carr is not the right fit. They're booing Carr when he's in the game, and this is, they've already seen enough. I'm on the outside looking in, and I can already tell it wasn't a fit after the first month. And then Taysom Hill goes in there, gets a 7-yard gain on an RPO. They cheer, then they pull him out after the next play. That shows you that Dennis Allen doesn't know what they're doing. Carmichael doesn't know what they're doing. They don't utilize the best pieces that they have. Taysom Hill and AK-41 should be on the field every single snap. And they still need improvements on the line. And the defense gets tired. They can't hang, and be out there on the field for 40, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, out of a fucking 60-minute game. So. Lots of problems in the NFC South. The whole division is trash. So we are the worst division in football. So hopefully they'll figure it out. But you guys gave Carr too much money, and it's all political now. So now you guys have to play him, but you don't. If it was me, he would be third string. I literally would have Taysom Hill as the 1, Jameis as the 2, and then I had Carr as the 3. Because Jameis is going to throw just as many picks as Carr, but his arm is better downfield. He'll throw the 50-yard bomb. Once in a while, it'll be an amazing Olave touchdown or off a tipped pass, and he'll get it. And then he'll have that bad pick six or fumble for a touchdown. You're like, there's famous Jameis again. But Carr does it, and you don't expect him to do it. And then he keeps doing it. Pick six, fumble, can't throw downfield. So if you're going to have bad play from the quarterback, you might as well have a guy that can actually throw a 50-yard bomb rather than a dink and doink, a guy that can only throw a 10-yard pass, essentially is what you're getting with Carr. He's like Drew Brees at the end of his career with a noodle arm, but he can't even do what Drew Brees was doing at the end of his career. He's worse. So It's probably one of the biggest mistakes that the Saints franchise has made by signing Carr. It's just not a fit. They thought it was going to be a fit, but it's not a scheme fit. It's not a player fit. It's just a terrible fit. You got a size 10 and you got a size 5 shoe. The motherfucker ain't fitting. Okay, throw that bitch out. Put him to the trash. And I hate to say that, but it's true. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that. It is not a fit, and it never will be. You can get another head coach. You whatever. It ain't going to be a fit. Just like Michael Thomas needs to retire, he can't play anymore. That Michael Thomas special season with Drew Brees, you're never going to see it again. And that's okay because you got Olave and Rashid Shaheed, you got Taysom Hill, you got other guys. But, what you had is gone. And you got to be able to know what pieces are good and build around them like Taysom Hill. Like, he's a stud. And I know it's like, oh, we don't want to start him because we don't want to give away our gimmicks. Well, every time he goes in the game, every motherfucker on planet Earth knows he's either going to run it, throw it, block, pass, catch. They know he's the focal point. So if you already know that Taysom Hill is going to keep the ball and he still gets 7-8 yards per play, doesn't it make sense to probably start him so that way you can get positive yardage every time? Not every third down you bring him in and he gets 7 yards. Sometimes you just got to understand that you got idiots running the team. Daniels wouldn't succeed on that roster. Not how the team sits right now. You got coaching is a mess. You got a lot of problems that need to be fixed. That just because Jayden Daniels is all doing all those things, you wouldn't want to waste a pick on a quarterback. You already got 3. You got to be able to beef up the O-line. You got to get another receiver. You got plenty of holes on the defense. You can't waste a pick on a fucking Jayden Daniels. What do you think? Jayden Daniels is going to go back there and he's going to save the team? Fuck no. You can put Caleb Williams on that team. He ain't saving that team either. You got so many other holes that need to be filled. Jayden Daniels would be the worst thing to do. You got a capable quarterback on the roster right now in Taysom Hill, but you guys aren't using him. You use him as a starter, you win game. Honestly, if you guys used him as a starter from game 1 for a full season, you probably could get 10 wins. You probably could end up being, a 10-7 team with Taysom Hill. With any other quarterback, you're going to be getting 8-9 or worse. That's just, that's just true. You have to have swagger. You have to have belief, and you have to be able to throw the ball downfield. And if you can't have swagger and you can't lead by example, right? You know what I mean? And then the fans turn on you, it's done. It's like when Zach Wilson, when the interviewer interviewed him, right? When the defense held, the other team to like 9, and he had 80 yards passing, and they said, well, "What do you think about what happened?" And normally, a quarterback says, "It was my fault." And then what does Zach Wilson say? "I did everything, it wasn't my fault. I did everything I could." You know what I mean? And you're supposed to take the praise and the blame. And as soon as he said, I did everything I could do, not my fault we lost, the whole franchise turned on him completely. The fan base turned on him. The coaches turned on him. The players turned on him. And sometimes it's just one thing that stands out, and, the confidence is gone. You know what I mean? Not only with the fan base, but with you, and, that's all she wrote for Zach Wilson. So, Elliot in the building. What's good? I mean, I know talent where I see it, and I'm a Buck fan, but I got Saints players sometimes on my fantasy, and I got Taysom Hill because I know he's a good player. That when they use him correctly, right, he can get 10 to 25 points even at a tight end. They had a stretch for 4 games in a row. They used him appropriately. But look at this: if you're Taysom Hill, right, and you know that you can run, you can throw, you can catch, you can block, and you can do special teams. 0.4, 8, 3, 3, 3. Then they figured, well, maybe we should use him. Then all of a sudden, when he started playing in week 6 at Houston, 12, 16, 22, 20. And then they decided, well, let's play Minnesota and forget about Taysom Hill. 4, bye week, 8, then back to Detroit, 15. Like, it should be it's like if you had brains and realize, okay, the more we give Taysom Hill the ball, the more we win. The more we don't, we lose. Let's fuck him. Let's stop going to him. Let's just keep going to Carr. Like, I mean, if you're tanking, I get it. But if you're trying to win the division, like you're literally shooting yourself in the foot by not utilizing the best piece on the offense that's not named AK-41. It's ridiculous. It's like having Gronk and not throwing him the ball. It's like having Kelsey and not throwing him the ball. You're just hurting yourself. Sad, man. Wasting Olave, wasting AK, wasting Taysom Hill. And obviously, Taysom Hill will fumble and throw picks, but it still gives you a better chance than Jameis and Carr. Hell, Jameis is better than Carr, and everyone knows it because at least Jameis can throw a 50-yard bomb for a touchdown. Carr cannot. Tell me I'm wrong. I've watched almost every Saint game all year. I know. So I spy on the NFC South. You ain't gonna if you trade AK-41, you're never gonna get a player better. You need to be able to beef up the O-line. Everyone has a different vision on how they need to build the team, but like you can get a better backup than Jameis. You can get rid of Carr, keep Taysom, try to get a draft pick or another free agent to come in to challenge. Build the O-line. Get another wide receiver. Build up that defense. Build up that secondary. Get another pass rusher. Cameron Jordan getting any fucking younger. DeMario Davis is getting old as shit. You know what I mean? So you need to improve those pieces. But bringing in a fucking Jaden Daniels ain't solving those fucking problems. You just get fucking sack lunch every play. You got to build the O-line and the D-line first and then worry about those other positions later. Yeah, he's hurting. I mean, AK and Taysom are staples of that roster. They're awesome. You know what I mean? But besides those two guys, and Olave, Olave you can build around AK and Taysom, those three, right? But other than those three, everyone else is replaceable. I do like Rashid Shaheed when he gets opportunities, but, obviously if you're hurt, what can you do, right? You get rid of Lattimore and Kamara and you get picks, and then what kind of picks are you getting? Pete Werner? Like, is that what you want? You want Pete Werner? You want guys like that? That shit ain't going to turn the shit around. That ship ain't fucking sailing down you trade away the picks and get shit players. It's one thing to get talent, but if you're going to get me players for just the Saints, like, you got to make sure you hit on your picks like Pete Carroll does, like Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen. Because then if you get guys like Pete Werner, then you're going to be like, what the fuck did we do? You have other guys that turn into all-pro, Pro Bowl, Hall of Famers, and you're stuck with a fucking Pete Werner. And Pete's not terrible, but there could have been someone you could have gotten better, like Paulson Adebo. You're going to get him. He's actually been pretty good for you guys, but you could have gotten someone better, so you have to realize that. Like, the team overall has not been drafting very well, and they haven't been picking up free agents very well either. That's just facts. That's not me being a hater. That's me being, I want you guys to be better. I want the NFC South to be better. It's just you either understand evaluating talent or you don't. Nice tackle. Here we go. Momentum for the Chiefs. I feel it. Uncle Mo. The Elliott, it's been a nightmare watching the fucking Saints. And they almost came back and won because the Detroit Lions defense is ass. If they would have played Taysom Hill from the beginning to the end, they would have come back and won that game. Jamal Williams is just garbage. Not a good fit. Great fit for Detroit because of that offensive line and that vibe. And you've seen, like, the Bears without Montgomery and then the Lions with Montgomery. You need players that are going to make a difference on the roster. And, Jamal was just in the right place at the right time, but not a fit with the Saints whatsoever because the offensive line hasn't been good and the quarterback play hasn't been good. Like, I literally would start Jameis over Carr. And I think every Saint fan would too, because you're getting this pretty much the same result. Fuck ups, but at least one guy can go deep for an amazing splash touchdown once in a while. But it's very clear. Taysom, Jameis, Carr. Carr is third string. And I know Carr, to most people, he's a starter. But if you watched him this year, he's looked like shit. Some of that is offensive line. Some of that is the head coach. And some of that is Carmichael, the play caller. Yes, but it's a combination of the O-line, the head coach, the OC, and Carr all sucking ass together. 4th down and 1. Get his ass! Get him! Pick that up! You got to be shitting me. 4-on-1? How do you not stop that? Chiefs secondary needs a facelift. And I'm not even talking about a facelift like fucking Paris Hilton. You got to... Jesus Christ. 4 guys? You're telling me not one guy could have batted that down? Christ. You should, Jason, because even though he's in a shitty conference, he is NFL ready. They don't have Josh Downs there. The ACC is terrible. So obviously he hasn't been very good. A lot of games of 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. And you expect a little bit more. You know what I mean? But he's got the intangibles and the extras, And obviously, you guys are tanking openly. Can't even score a point, you know. But again, you're never going to have Tom Brady, Gronk, and that run ever again. So, enjoy the run while it was, but it's never going to be like that ever again. But, out of all the quarterbacks, like I said, Bo Nix, even me being a Duck fan, Caleb Williams, there's going to be question marks there. Bo is 24. Caleb, I don't know about his completion percentage on that, NFL quality type of teams. But I do believe in Quinn Ewers. I do believe in Michael Penix Jr., and I do believe in Drake May, over those other two guys, and one of them's on my own team. So some guys are NFL ready, some guys aren't. Touchdown, Packers, flag on the play. Holding on the defense. Secondary is boo-boo for the Packers. No, boo-boo for the Chiefs. Improvements, please. Well, maybe you don't, but do you watch college football? Do you watch 5 games a week? Do you watch every game of the quarterback? Probably not. There's going to be some people that can evaluate talent better than others. And it also depends on what team they go to, supporting cast, if they actually have good parents or a good structure around them. Are they smart? Are they stupid? Do they have a good completion percentage? You know what I mean? There's a lot of factors involved, not just like, I've seen this guy. I don't think he's going to make it. You actually have to watch games. And if you don't watch games, then you're not going to fucking know. There's going to be people that evaluate talent on a higher level. There's a reason why I have ESP, and usually my picks pan out compared to most people. I'm not going to be right on everything, but I'm more right than most people on YouTube or on TV because they come here and steal my fucking information, and then they act like it's their own. So I think Michael Penix Jr. and Quinn Ewers have a better chance than some of these other guys, and it also depends on team. But, if you're going to base it off just what you've seen based off the stats, that doesn't tell the whole story. Just like a couple years ago. This draft class is going to be great. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones. Mac Jones? How many good quarterbacks do we have out of that list now? How many good quarterbacks do we have out of that list now? Trevor Lawrence, and he's not even having a good year this year, right? And Justin Fields, he's not really that good, and he might be the second best out of those 5. But this upcoming draft class has potential to have 5 or 6 guys, but out of the 5 or 6, how many are going to pan out? Probably 2. And then you'll have another 2 that might be average or above average, and they have to, see where they go. Like, if you end up on the Cardinals or New England, if you end up on certain teams, there's no guarantee. Like the best option for a lot of these quarterbacks, like you go to the Cardinals, you probably will fail. You go to the Bears, you're probably going to fail. You go to New England, you might fail, right? The one team that the quarterback, if they go to, they might succeed is the Giants. If you go to the Giants, you might be able to succeed. So if that's Caleb Williams or Drake May or Michael Penix Jr., whoever goes to New York is going to be in a better position than those other teams. It all starts at the top. GM, head coach, play caller, supporting cast. Does Saquon stay healthy or is he injured? If you stay healthy, maybe you make the playoffs. But if he's hurt, then you're probably not. It all depends if someone slips in the draft a little bit. Like if Michael Penix Jr. slides down to a team like the Steelers, and then they grab him, and then they decide to get rid of Pickett, that could be someone that elevates. You know what I mean? It all depends on where they go. Yeah, you watch college, but how much college you watching? You said I support Michigan. What you watch? Michigan games only? Some of us in this room, we're watching 5-6 games a fucking weekend. But I think as far as fit, Drake May is the best fit for New England, based on the offense that you guys run. But that doesn't mean that he's going to pan out. Your running backs suck. Your wide receivers suck. Offensive line isn't good. Defense is ass. Belichick is just trying to be the number 1 coach of all time. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of problems there. Ramondre Stevenson's all right, but he always gets hurt. That's just not being mean. That's just being real. You put up a fucking 0. They're tanking. There's not a whole lot there. What do you have to work with? You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot there. I mean, like what? Matthew Judon's your best player? You're a long ways away from, the Tom Brady, Gronk, Belichick, dominance. That time, that ship has sailed, but I do think if you got a guy like Drake May and you built around him, and you guys fucked up by, Juju, right? Instead of what? You should have kept Jakobi Meyers. It's very clear Jakobi Meyers is a stud. Juju, you know, on that team, I mean, kind of forgettable. So, yeah, but that's not going to be the quarterback's fault. That's going to be Bill's fault and Kraft's fault for not building a roster. Running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line, defense. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, what do you expect? You expect one guy to come in there and then you're going to win 10 games? The team has got fucking multiple facelifts before they become relevant again. I mean, there's so many holes on that roster. I mean, looking at New England's like looking at the Chicago Bears, but worse. You know, you don't got a DJ Moore there. You know, you got rid of a good piece in Jakobi Meyers. You know, so remember, it's going to take a long time before you get good again. And as long as you're going to stick with the team forever, just realize that. But if you're looking at a quarterback that could help, you know, faster than maybe some of the others, you know, I think that Drake May plays in a shitty conference. You know, he doesn't have very many good players around him. Conference sucks. So a lot of the numbers should have been better this year. But still, you know, if you don't have a lot of help around you, he's on North Carolina. Drake May isn't on fucking Texas. He's not on Washington. He's not on Oregon. If he was, his numbers would be amazing. 21-12 Packers. Come on, Chiefs. Your boy needs fantasy points. There we go. First down, Chiefs. Smooth chains. So many average mid wide receivers for the Chiefs. I mean, like I said, Rice obviously is the best one. Give him more looks. Offsides. Free play. Go deep. Go deep. Oh. Free play. Go deep. God, where's Aaron Rodgers when you need him? You got a free play and you throw a 1 yard screen to Kelce? What was that going to do? You started Breaking Bad? Nice. I'm getting a lot of Breaking Bad clips, like Breaking Bad fanatics. It'll come up on like my Facebook or like a thread, and it'll have little scenes, you know, with Walter White and, you know, and the crew and whatnot. Great show. I'm doing Game of Thrones from the beginning, Elliot, and I've been binging it like a motherfucker. I'm already on season 2. It's only been like a day and a half, and I'm already on like halfway through season 2. It's awesome. Because there's some stuff that like I remember, but there's some stuff that I don't, you know. Like I watched it live, and then I think I watched it one time like a year later, and then I stopped, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a few years before I watch it again, and that's where I'm at now. So look at this, fucking room. Packers, Gruden, Mariucci, Andy Reid, Ray Rhodes, Holmgren, Dick Duran, goats everywhere. Shep, dude, it's literally one of the best shows ever written, ever. Like, you know, they can say, oh, the hype or this or that. If a show has a cult following, you know what I mean? It's probably really fucking good. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm very particular on the shows that I watch. You know what I mean? But like I said, the acting, the writing is so good. And it's not like there's only one good actor or actress. Everyone is like a 10 out of 10. Everyone, Littlefinger, Tyrion, every single person, Arya, everyone is just like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Like they literally hit it out of the park. You know, if you haven't watched it, shame on you, bro. Like I know you're a busy motherfucker like me, and you're always working. But Thrones is amazing to me. Out of all the shows that I've ever watched, it's definitely one of the best I've ever seen. You know, there's only going to be a few shows that I like that are like that. I mean, I personally like True Blood a lot. Not everyone's going to get into it, but I like the gore in it and the way that they do the vampire jump off in Louisiana. I like True Blood. Not everyone's going to love True Blood as much as me. That's kind of like a personal favorite, but I think True Blood is very good. I love it. Breaking Bad is good. Game of Thrones is good. I like Grimm. Grimm is really good. It just depends if you vibe with the cast, and the storyline and the writing and the acting that's in it. So, Game of Thrones on a scale of 10 out of 10, it's a fucking 12. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, if you need someone to stare at, Khaleesi's there. There's the acting and the betrayal and the fight scenes, the gore, the blood. You got to think anything that's on fucking HBO or Showtime, it's probably going to be fucking insane, and it is. And then you got shows like Sons of Anarchy, Mayans MC, where you get like motorcycle gangs, either Mexican, Latino, or white, Caucasian. Ridiculous. It's like the drugs and the gang shooting type stuff and all the loyalty and the camaraderie. It just depends on what you like. I wish True Blood was still a show too. My boy Lafayette, he's the only one that's not alive on the show. And like I said, I always love Lafayette. Great show, man. And like I said, I'll probably go back and rewatch some of those shows again, because like I said, I feel like when I get sucked into a show, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm a part of like Jason and Lafayette, and I'm like, I can envision myself like being in the bar, and being in that scenario and whatnot. And, only certain shows will suck you in like that when they're really, really good. Second down and 4. There we go. First down, Chiefs. Yeah, I've watched all those episodes of Mayfair Witches too. Like, I don't like discriminate or hate. You know what I mean? Like, if it's sci-fi or if it's fantasy, regardless of what it is, if it's based off something real or if it's or if it's made up, as long as they do it well, I'm gonna love it. Oh, Vikings was great. Vikings was great. You kidding me? Ragnar, Wildcat. Ooh, good tackle there. Quay Walker with a big tackle. Yeah, but I'm doing Game of Thrones from the beginning, but I have already done True Blood. I finished that. Then I did Grimm. Grimm is a really good one too. That was actually filmed here in Oregon. So you see a lot of stuff that I've seen like in towards the neighborhoods and whatnot. And it's kind of like fantasy, kind of sci-fi, but like if you've ever seen an episode of Grimm, it's like people they kind of shapeshift with their faces into like partial human, partial like animal and or kind of like sorcery type stuff. But they don't do it in like a cheesy way. They do it in a way where it's cool. And they have like crimes that exist, and one guy's a cop, and then they're like in the police station and whatnot, and they do it really, really well. So if you're looking for like a sci-fi show to watch, I would recommend Grimm. I think a lot of people would like that. I mean, if you like True Blood, you'll like Grimm. Yeah. Well, plus, anytime you watch a show and if you see people getting their head cut off and and it's gory and crazy and yeah, I mean, you watch the first episode of Game of Thrones, and you'll be hooked. Like a lot of these great shows, go start off with a bang. There we go. All the way to the 1, baby. Go Chiefs, go. First and goal. Should have threw the football there. I would have, if it was me right here, I'd run an RPO with Pat and just run it in himself. You know what I mean? Because if they assume the run is going to be coming and then, maybe we'll be in pass protection. And then, maybe they'll do a quick slant or a fade to Kelce or a crossing route, to Rice. Might as well just run the RPO with Mahomes and he'll score. That's where I would go. Because that definitely gives you the score. And then the next time you can go back to Pacheco. The next time you can go to Rice for Kelce. You know what I mean? But if it's me in this particular situation, I would just go with Pat with his legs if it's there. Yeah, good angry run. 21-12 Packers. Because the thing is, if you go with Mahomes and the pass is off, you don't want it to get picked off on the 1. Then they'll be like, well, you should have ran it with Pacheco. But now the defense is very stiff, obviously, for Green Bay. So it's like you keep running it up the middle. Yeah, eventually Pacheco will get in. But I guess it just depends if you want to give love to some other player besides him. Yeah, well, they're watching right now. You know, all of them, everyone on that panel is watching right now. So they already know that definitely is going to be one of the top two all weekend. And obviously, they'll have to go through the tape to look at all the other matchups to see what other runs were angrier than that. But there's a good chance that that was the winner for sure, especially when it takes like 6 guys to bring you down. Oh, Pat, 8.48. Is that good? Thank God I got Sam Howell and Joshua Dobbs still. Let's go, baby. Bro, what did you send me, Shep? The guy just jumped off the roof? That guy's crazy. Like jumped off the roof into the water? Mahomes? Shovel, almost picked. Dumb. You can't get cute. You're not the same team with Eric Bieniemy. They know that you've done that play over and over and over. Noah Gray, going into Kelsey. You can't do that type of play. Telling you, Andy Reid is not the same without Eric Bieniemy. The play calling has been much sloppier. It's not as precise. It doesn't have that same feeling. There we go. Touchdown, Chiefs. Thank God. There we go. Nice job, Noah. Well, there's water down there, so as long as he doesn't hit the concrete and doesn't break his legs, he'll be good. And obviously, he set that up before he ran out there. It's not like he just all of a sudden just ran out there. They had it all set up. Like, okay, run real fast right here, and you're going to have to jump this trajectory. Just make sure you get the water. Extra point is up, and it's good. There we go, Chiefs. Nice little Uncle Mo there. It hasn't been pretty, but now the defense, if you're top three, like you guys have been claiming all year, top three, top five, stop making Jordan Love look like fucking Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Sack his ass. Get a pick. But that's a problem. The defensive line hasn't been as good. The front seven has to be the strongest unit. They're not getting the love. And if Love's got time, just like any quarterback in the NFL, they're going to rip you apart. They're in the NFL, right? So at some point, someone needs to make a play. It's not like Love and their receivers are so much better. It's not like Brett Favre is back there or Aaron Rodgers in his prime. Megan in the building. What's good? There we go. Patrick Mahomes finally gets me some fantasy points. What does that get me? 10, 11, 12? What am I at? 12.56. So hopefully he can get to 19. Hopefully 18 or 19, hopefully. It's crazy. Patrick Mahomes in the past would get you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. Now you got to pray that he gets to 2, and there's no guarantee. That's a problem. Where you got Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, and you don't even know if he can get you 2 touchdown passes. That's the reality this year. But I'll take it. Good shot, Pat. All right, Noah. Nice job. Nice. I'm going for the fucking chip. No, I'm not fucking laying down for anybody. I told everybody too once I got that second loss, I'm gonna rip off fucking 6 in a row, and I'm going for the jugular on fucking everybody. Regardless of who you are. And so far, so good. But again, it's the first time in fantasy where we had everyone that gained a playoff spot with 2 weeks to go. I've never seen that before. So, you know, uh, shout out to the league for the people that obviously did really, really well early on and kept it moving. Reflect, Fo King, and Chief all at 9-3, and your boy sitting at the top at 10-2, about to go to 11-2. But it doesn't mean that if you can still go 12-2 and I can be in first place and not win the championship. I mean, that's what's happened in the last 3 years. So hopefully, we'll see what happens. All right, 2-point game. Let's go. It's a little bit of luck once you get to the playoffs. Browns defense, yeah, but you also have to realize who the quarterback is. So anytime there's a quarterback change, right? And if you have Deshaun Watson and the Browns defense has been top 5 all year, and then all of a sudden he's out, then that means that the defense is going to be on the field more. So you can't bank on, 10 to 14 points automatic. You have to be able to look at the changes with the team. And if the quarterback changes, then the defense is going to change as well. Because they're not going to be able to keep it up and score 10 to 14 points every week if the quarterback isn't the same. If you got, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, or you got fucking Joe Flacco, they're not going to be able to sustain the same elevation as a Deshaun Watson did early in the season. So sometimes you got to dig a little bit deeper, but it is what it is. 7-19, golly. I mean, my goal every year is to be number one, score the most points, give up the least, and then win the chip. Make the most moves as well. I'm at like 109, 110, which is probably like 70 more, 60 more than any other person in the league. So I better be in first place if I'm making all those moves. Yeah. Like imagine making 100 fucking moves and everyone else is making 40 or less, and I'm in like 5th place. I'd be looking like a fucking idiot. But of course, I do the most research and read the most, watch the most film. So I better make the right moves at the right time. But the shitty thing is you put in all this effort and all this grind, and sometimes life isn't fair and you don't win. That's just life. You just got to keep battling until you get the chip. Come on, Chris Jones. Less cupcakes, brother. Less hamburgers. Come on now. Are you even playing out there? I mean, he hasn't even been a factor. Let's go. If you're one of the best in the world, like a Warren Sapp, you got to do something. Where are you? This isn't Aaron Rodgers. This isn't Brett Favre. It's not like this team is fucking 12-2 or 10-2. Come on now. I know. Because you caught the bug, bro. You caught the baseball bug. Oh, yeah. I mean, Bieniemy, Juju, Clark. I mean, if you had those 3 pieces there, your record would be much better and the vibe would be better. Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone, just like in a relationship, with people. Sometimes you don't realize the greatness that you have. You just think it's going to last forever, and then you realize, oh, this was really, really good. And then you either left or they left, and then you have that realization that, wow, they are much better than I thought they were, before you finally do realize how important they were to the team or to the relationship. 21-19 Packers. Where's that big Chief sack lunch? Where's that big Chief fumble? Where's that big Chief interception? Play clock hit 0. Delay a game. There you go. Golly, I mean, Mahomes, Joshua Dobbs with 4 picks against the fucking Bears, and then Sam Howell, who plays like shit pretty much every game, and they get down by a lot, but he still put up 19, even though they got fucking obliterated by the Dolphins, and that's what fantasy is about. Sometimes when your team isn't very good, but you throw the ball like a motherfucker. Incomplete. Like you can always count on Sam Howell throwing for probably 300 yards, probably 40 attempts, yeah, and they're down. So it benefits, sometimes you have to look at fantasy that way too. So until you find a 10-piece nugget with all the sauces and the secret sauce, yeah, shit, dude. Like I said, I mean, I thought I think I had a 9-piece or an 8-piece, with the last one, you know what I mean? But when people give up, based off your career or your dog, and then sometimes you got to go from the 8-piece and the 9-piece with no sauce, or maybe just one sauce barbecue, and then you get the 10-piece with all the sauces, baby. You know it, Chef. You know it. Well, also too, like most of the time with me, I mean, most of the time I'm not single. It's like in the last 15 years, I haven't really been single. It's like I've one relationship was like 6, 7 years. The other one was 8 years. Both of them were only good for probably maybe the first year. You know what I mean? And then you get to a point where it's like you're almost just roommates. You know what I mean? And it's sad, you know what I mean? But that's just the way that America is now. If you have a house or an apartment, you probably live with multiple people. It's very hard, even if you have a good job, it's very hard to be able to live by yourself nowadays, just with the way the economy is. Love, out of the pocket, going deep, and complete. Thank God. No flags. All right, here we go, Chiefs. Uncle Mo. But it's also being able to, find someone that you can vibe with spiritually, mentally, not just physically. It can't just be that physical attraction. It has to go deeper because after a physical attraction, once you have that, can you actually like want to hang out with that person after? Like after you're hanging out, like, can you like actually spend time together rather than just being attracted to each other? You have to have some substance and whatnot. So. Well, I'm not sure what the living situation is in Australia. Obviously, probably different a little bit than a lot of us here in the States, but most people, and regardless if you're young or you're old, most people in the United States within, I would say in the last probably 5 years, once COVID hit and then now, there's a lot of people that can't do that. And if they do, then they're really suffering because they can't afford it. It's like, okay, I'm going to force to live by myself, but then they can't eat, they can't pay their bills, they can't make their car payment. Everything is late every month. So I mean, people can do it. You know what I mean? But it's like you have to be in a very, very special situation or have a really, really good job or a good financial backbone. Either money in the bank or money coming in or side hustles or whatever it is. But I'll tell you, here in America, it is very difficult to be able to make it on your own. So. And you must be one of the elite 1% that is able to do it. So that's a good thing for you. but it definitely makes things come together. When you find the right person for you in your life at that time, whether it be you're taking it day by day, or if you feel it could be something very long term or forever. So I know for me, I got a couple special good people in my life, and obviously with Paisley too. If I didn't have Paisley in my life, things would be much tougher and whatnot. So, but I feel that I'm more happy now with things than I ever have been, and obviously, if we can get, the support and, the people showing the effort, and we can get back to where we were in 2022, that is the ultimate goal. And hopefully 2024 will be much better than 2023. First down and 10. Yeah, Oregon's playing Liberty. No one gives a fuck. Unfortunately, it's just Oregon fans don't care. Nobody cares. Like that's like the worst possible matchup that we could have been matched up with. So, I mean, I would like to say that Oregon fans are excited, but no one would be excited playing against Liberty. No one knows where Liberty is. No one cares about Liberty. They don't even know what state it's in. They don't even know how many wins they have. Like, even people that go to Liberty don't even care about Liberty. So it's, very unfortunate the Ducks got, into that, playoff scenario. Congratulations, the Huskies. They beat us. They earned it. But to get stuck with Liberty really sucks. Mahomes going deep. Got a man, turned around, incomplete. Third down and 8. Come on, Mahomes. Jesus Christ. Come on. Flag? No flags, huh? But you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be like a fanatic, and still not know where Liberty is, what state it is. Like, you have to Google it. You know what I mean? There's going to be certain schools where people are going to know, where like Troy is, and certain like locations, that don't actually tell you specifically, but it's like the only school that has to play a team that's that low ranked. Like, how is Oregon 8 and we're playing Liberty that's 23? Can't we play someone that's like 12? Like, everyone else is playing a top 12 team but Oregon. And the sad thing is we'll probably lose because we're not very good when we play in the bowl game. Sometimes guys opt out. Sounds like Bo Nix is going to play. But what happens if Bo Nix plays in the game, tears his ACL? There goes his NFL career. So it's like he already proved everything that he could. I don't think a win against Liberty, no one's going to give a shit. So I mean, it's one last chance to see Liberty. Like, Matt will love it because Matt loves the Ducks like I do. He wants to be able to see Bo one more time, but I don't want to see Bo get hurt in a meaningless bowl game that no one cares about. And it's sad. I just wish we had a better opponent than that. Like, I was complaining about Mizzou, and now I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I wish we would have got Mizzou instead of Liberty. But I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, huh? I think it's a good move because UCLA's defensive coordinator did improve that defense pretty dramatically. They were like in the top, like 100 or the bottom 100. Like, they were very, very low. And then they got them to be like a top 20 defense, in certain statistics and categories. So they had a big leap of faith and a big leap of improvement on that side of the ball. And it can't get any worse for USC being one of the worst on that side of the ball. Offense, great, but defense, really bad. And so if you bring in a guy like that, will it turn it around immediately? I'm not sure, but it's going to be a hell of a lot better than what you have right now. So hopefully it works out for you guys. But I did read about that a couple days ago. Reflect in the building. Washington Huskies, baby. Second down and 16. Come on, Chiefs. Can we get any pressure today? You're looking like a JV team out there. Come on. First down, Packers. Move the chains. It's always good when we can get some of the goats to interact with each other. It's always better when we get more people to show up and show love and support. I'll be rooting for you, man. Like I was even telling Mo Gumbo, and he was asking me, and I told him, man, I'm probably the only Duck fan that's rooting for the Huskies to win it all. But I want to represent for the Pac-12. Georgia got robbed. Should have been Georgia probably over Texas, but the matchups are fire. They would have been fire with Georgia included in them. But we'll end around for Watson. Get him. Wow, unbelievable. Lack of discipline for the Chiefs defensive players. But you got Michigan, who's the best team. They're going to go against Alabama, who just beat Georgia. So Alabama definitely has a chance. And then you got Washington going against Texas, which it should have been probably Washington versus Georgia. But still, that's going to be good. And Washington could win. Texas could win. Washington could win. Georgia could win. I mean, if that was that scenario. So I feel really deeply sorry for Georgia, Shep, and Georgia fans. How do you go from winning the back-to-back natties, being number one, being undefeated, and then the committee thinks that they're not even one of the top four teams? It's ridiculous. But, it is what it is. I mean, there's definitely a lot of bias in the committee, for sure. Love? Pass incomplete. And it shows you the Chiefs got away earlier in the season when the defense was ranked top 3, when they were getting all those sack lunches and they were hiding the fact that secondary has holes. But now when the secondary obviously gets exposed and you're not getting that pressure from that front seven and the quarterback is able to go through his reads, the secondary doesn't look good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got a top 3, top 5 defense normally when you're getting pressure up front. But if you're watching this game, the secondary looks like bottom 10. Like, they can't stop a nosebleed, and they're better than that. But again, it all starts up front on the O line and the D line. Can't stop the run, can't stop the pass. Tough. It's not like the Packers are better than the Chiefs, but again, depending on who you play, and if you're on the road, sometimes you get exposed. You haven't gone to Kelsey, you haven't gone to Rice. Right, Mahomes isn't as good this year. Offensive line needs to be better, even though they have good continuity. Same offensive line all year. That's good, But it's like the enemy's not there. Juju's not there. Certain pieces aren't there. They don't have the same swagger, the same confidence. I see the record, right? But the record doesn't match the play on the field. That's why it's very, very, very serious. Where they may not make it. They can make it to the AFC Championship game just because of the lack of talent in the AFC. Mark Andrews getting hurt. You got the Jags and the Dolphins as the biggest threat, but I don't know. Unless things really start to change, if they started to go to Rice as Tyreek as the number one, things would get better. But if they continue to try to spread it around to like 8 guys, they are not going to the Super Bowl, and Miami will take their spot. And that's just kind of how I feel. They're good enough to get there, but I don't know if they're good enough to beat Miami. Regardless if Miami is at home or on the road, you could still be at home, and I could see Miami going in there with Tyreek and winning. But I don't know if the Jags or the Ravens could because they don't got Mark Andrews. But I think Miami is definitely nipping at their heels, and they're very close, if not better than them. I mean, I think the swagger and the vibe for Miami is completely different than it is with Kansas City. It's like Kansas City was great, 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 elite, 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 and now it's like you're struggling. You're hanging on a thread. It's like your fingertips are on the ledge, and you're just hanging on. You're hanging on purely. You're hanging on, and like your fingers are starting to shake a little bit. And we need to see some drastic improvement. Otherwise, you're not going to the Super Bowl. You can still make the AFC Championship game because the AFC is weak, right? But can you win that game? In years past, it was like, yep, 100%. They're going to the Super Bowl. This year, there's a lot of doubt. Even Chiefs fans themselves. First down and 10. Get him! Tipped, incomplete. That's why you want to make sure you're soaking in the greatness while you see it, because you never know how long it's going to last. Just because you got Andy Reid and Mahomes and Kelsey, people thought, oh, we're going to be great for 10 years in a row, and then you start to realize when other people go, and you don't think, Juju, Bieniemy, no fucking big deal. And then you're starting to realize maybe Andy Reid needs a little bit of help. Maybe if Bieniemy was there, maybe some of the play calls would be better. The execution would be better. It'd be more crisp, cookie crisp, cocoa crisp, and it's just not as crisp. It's like I feel like it's a cookie that's already been half eaten by Santa. It's like I'm not getting the full Oreo. There's a bite in it. This is not brand new. You're giving me a used product. I want that full Oreo cookie. I don't want the backup. I don't want it with a bite in it. I want to dip it myself. But with all that being said, Kansas City can still make it to the Super Bowl. They could make the AFC Championship game, and they probably will, unless they play Miami earlier or like Jacksonville or the Ravens, and then they play prior to the AFC Championship game and get upset. But there's still a lot of great players on the team, but it's just very concerning on how the shift is going here late. I'm not liking what I see on offense or defense at all. Shotgun set, and the Chiefs have a high standard. Get him. There we go. 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, Nagy sucks. Finally, field goal is up, and it's good. Like we're used to seeing the Chiefs dominate, not like struggling. And it's like a different thing each week. But to act like, well, Bieniemy wasn't a big deal. Oh yeah, we can win without him. Well, clearly you can't, and clearly you're not. You're getting fucking exposed, and the swagger isn't there anymore. Like, I know swagger when I see it, and it just doesn't feel like they got it. Miami's got more swagger than Kansas City this year. And it's not just Tua and Tyreek; it's that defense. It's Mike McDaniel. It's a vibe. Like they're on the up and up. And I feel like with the Chiefs, you're at the top, and you're not nose diving, but it's like you're going on a dip, and then all of a sudden you're kind of flatlining. Like I gotta fucking you pump the chest a little bit to get some air into you. I know people have been blowing my phone up. Oh, look, the Braves get Jared Kelenic. How great. Idiot. Marco Gonzalez, Evan White. I mean, I don't really care about Marco and Evan White, but we just got rid of Eugenio Suarez, and now we get rid of another good player in Kelenic. Stupid. Jackson Kowar and Cole Phillips. Dumb. I know we need pitching, but that doesn't mean that those guys are going to pan out for us. Terrible. I mean, unless Kowar and Phillips actually play well, but knowing guys that are on one team and then they go to another, now I got to do some more research about both of these guys, but I don't like it. Braves W, Mariners L, big L. We got an L already once, getting rid of Eugenio Suarez for 2 bags of chips, and now we do it again. I mean, it's like, what are we doing here? Marco and Evan I don't care about those, but with Kelenic, I mean, can we get at least a good player? I don't like this at all. But if the pitchers end up panning out, then it'll be a good trade if both guys are good, or at least hopefully at least one of them ends up being good. But what are these guys? What are those guys, Jeff, on the team? Are you familiar with them? Are they like mid relievers? Are they closers? But I'm going in here, and most of the people are saying that we got fleeced again. I don't like this. I mean, like I said, I don't care about Marco because he can't pitch. He's old. Evan White, who gives a shit? But if we're gonna give up a Kelenic, I want to make sure we're at least getting a name. I don't expect to get like one of your top dogs, but you know, like I don't think most people even know who those pitchers are. A lot of payroll, yeah. But what do we get? What happens if we clear the payroll and we don't do anything? No Ohtani, no Soto, no JD Martinez. So if we're clearing, the money, but then we don't spend money, then we're just getting worse. It's like we got more money to spend in our wallets, but we're not spending it, and then we're getting rid of good pieces, and then we're going to be worse. Like, are we even trying to go to the playoffs? Like, it's hard being a Mariners fan. See, Shep's like, I'm a Braves fan. I never even heard of those pitchers. So we got two no-name guys that we have to pray that pan out for a good player in Kelenic. And the other two guys are ass, so we don't care about them. But to give up Kelenic and Eugenio Suarez for 3 bags of chips, fuck. I guess that's how life goes, huh? Mariners getting fleeced again, over and over and over. The thing is, if the Mariners had a reputation on cutting payroll and getting guys to come here, and that way we get better, then a lot of these trades for Eugenio Suarez and Kelenic, we'd be sad. But we're like, okay, we're getting good, we're going to get better. But it's like we have no guarantee that we're actually going to get anything in return, or if guys are going to be, being able to progress and get better. Kowar 6.43 ERA. Jesus Christ! What about the other guy? Can you look up the other guy? What's his stats? Because obviously, if Shep hasn't even heard about these guys in the rotation, these are like the 7th, 8th, it's like a equivalent to like a Marco Gonzalez or worse. So it's like, okay, Marco Gonzalez and Evan White garbage, and then you give us 2 garbage pieces for 2 garbage pieces for 2 garbage pieces, but you get Kelenic. What do we get for that? Nothing. God, I just keep punched in the face over and over and over. Golly, that's tough. Come on, Mahomes, let's go. Take care. Shotgun set, Mahomes. What kind of pass? Picked. You got to be kidding me. Eric Bieniemy to Kansas City. Hello, Eric Bieniemy. Back to Kansas City. LMAO, you're welcome. No, not you're welcome. 6.43 ERA. Mariners need pitching, but we need good pitching, not shitty pitching. I mean, we already got plenty of guys that are mid that are on the roster that we can always put in if we need to. But they never played last season, never heard of the pitchers. God, I'm so happy that we did that. I'm glad that you guys got better. All my Mariner buddies now are just losing it. Like, why even go to the games unless I'm trying to get a souvenir? Bro, fire Dipoto. There's going to be so many people that are going to be pissed. They're going to want refunds for their tickets. Unless something big happens where we actually land Shohei Ohtani. If we get something like that, then maybe things will be, like you're forgiven. But got a bunch of single A, double A bullshit, and all these people. Seattle doesn't want to win. All these people are like, I can't even be a fan of this team anymore. Following the Robinson Cano pipeline. Jesus Christ, man. It's like, how many starters are we trying to give away? No more third baseman in Eugenio Suarez. No more Jared Kelenic. There goes our left fielder. You guys gave us, we got rid of our payroll, but I get it. But can we at least get a name? I don't expect Kelenic for Michael Harris, but at least give us something where like a name. It's not going to be Spencer Strider for Kelenic, but something. It's not Ozzy Albies, or it doesn't have to be like the best guy, but at least give us a guy that we've heard of, not just a bunch of guys that they just like, just came out of the back. That's rough. Yeah, but the thing is the Mariners, we don't spend money. So it's like, yeah, we're doing this to be able to make a big move, but the Mariners don't make moves. We just don't. They're very cheap, because they know that people are going to show up no matter what. We're not trying to like win. Like they're just trying to profit. Like more money for the owner and the GM and like the big boys. It's like corporate America. It's like cutting these pieces so that way they get more salary each year for themselves, but they're not really trying to win a championship. They're not trying to help out the organization or their fans. They're just trying to put more money in their personal pockets. That's what it feels like, and it just makes me sick, man, as a Mariner fan. Cole Phillips is the prize, seventh prospect in the Braves Farm Club, second round pick. But that's not going to give you results like Kelenic, though. So essentially, we got rid of two starters and we have no starters. So now we have a hole in left field and third base. That's just ridiculous. Well, you guys are a smart ball club. You're not us. I do like getting rid of Marco and Evan because those guys suck ass and we don't need them on the roster. They're not even worth the roster. But Kelenic and Eugenio Suarez both gone in a matter of 2 weeks for nothing in return. Like, not even one recognizable name. Not like, can I get at least a name I've heard of? One. Like if it's like 3 for 2 or 2 for 3, two players over here, at least give me someone good, bad, or ugly that I've heard of. Not like guys I've never even heard of. Golly. The chances of Ohtani landing with the Mariners is like 0%. It's not going to happen. Like they're Juan Soto, JD Martinez. I highly doubt we'll even get those guys or Cody Bellinger. I would assume we'll get nobody. I'd be shocked if we actually land anyone that's a name. They are cheap. They are the dumbest, cheapest franchise in sports. Period. I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to boycott going to games now, and they're not going to watch. You know what I mean? Like we'll see what happens here in the next couple of weeks if we actually do land an Ohtani or something like that. But that is the only way that they're going to get the fan base on board if Ohtani comes. If not, there's going to be a lot of people selling their tickets and not going or not watching. Especially making the playoffs and then almost making the playoffs last year, and now we're going reverse. We're not trying to get better. We're just trying to cut the payroll. How do you think fans are going to approach that? And the players that are in the locker room. How do you think Julio is going to feel about that? And we don't even have Teoscar anymore either. So no right fielder, no left fielder, no third base. And we were on the cusp of making the playoffs. But now, fuck my life. Just let's get a bunch of no-name players from other teams like the Diamondbacks. They get better. Braves get better. Mariners get worse. That's awesome. Note to self, don't be a Mariner fan. But at least I have the memories of like Griffey and Randy Johnson and Edgar and Ichiro. So I can go back like an old man and remember, the good old days, right? But I don't know if we'll have any good days moving forward. But Lauren messaged and all my other buddies messaged too. Fuck Soto. We don't want him. A shitty attitude. Overrated. Big name, doesn't produce consistently. Can make an all-star game, but I don't like him. He's probably like that one like all-star player that like a lot of people like. But I think if you actually look at the stat line, I mean, we got plenty of guys that fucking strike out a bunch. I don't need another one. Now, if he comes to the team, will I root for him? Of course, but I'm not buying his fucking jersey. And I wouldn't be mad if we spent money. I'd be like, okay, all right, we're getting rid of Kelenic and Suarez. Hopefully we can get guys that are just as good or better. But when you have a reputation of never spending money besides Robinson Cano, How long ago was that? And then you overpaid, and that's when we were shitty. That's like when we had Richie Sexton and Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz were there. So second down and 3, 24-19 Packers. Shotgun set. Little flip to Watson. First down, Packers. Oh, Watson's down. What is that, an ACL tear? Yeah, hammy. Hammy. I mean, what's next? They're going to trade J.P. Crawford for a half a bag of chips? I mean, is that what's going to happen? I mean, depending on what happens, I don't know. I want to be able to do Mariner games on the channel, but I'm very critical to be able to see what we got going on. I mean, of course I'll do it, but I mean, they better not be getting rid of all my favorites now. What do we at likes and donos? Where are we sitting? I agree. I agree. You know what I mean? But again, it's just all about trying to get at least an equal value. Equal value and whatnot. And shout out to my girl Meg. Love you. Yeah, a lot of our guys had a lot of Ks, a lot of guys. Teoscar Hernandez, too many strikeouts, right? Eugenio Flores, too many strikeouts. Kelenic, too many strikeouts. But again, at least we were getting some production, and the fans like a lot of those guys, And then now if we're bringing in, no name guys that maybe they don't strike out as much, but they don't get any hits or home runs. I mean, essentially that's going to still make us bad. It's like we need to get guys that are going to help improve us. So. First down and 10, 24-19 Packers. Kansas City showing blitz. Shotgun set. Handoff. Dillon. No picks. No fumbles. Sack lunches. I mean, you can't be known as a top 3 or top 5 defense if you're not doing anything. It's like they're already struggling on the offensive side of the ball. Now you can't afford to have the defense struggle and show weakness. Because now you're going, okay, well, the offense used to be top 5, defense top 15. Now the defense is top 3, top 5, and then the offense is top 15. But then what happens now if they both are top 15? Then you're fucked. But I'll tell you what, Nagy was the wrong guy. Not a good hire. Not as bad as Matt Canada, but second and 9. Short game. It's crazy to say, but after watching this game, if the Chiefs went into the playoffs today and played the Ravens, the Jags, and the Dolphins, they would lose all three. I think all three of those teams could beat Kansas City based on how they've been playing. I think I don't have a confidence in anything. Special teams, no. Offensive play calling, no. Mahomes, no. Getting Kelsey the ball enough, no. Defense, no. Sack lunches, no. Picks, no. I mean, and even with no Mark Andrews, the way that those other three teams have been playing, they're playing better football. They're more confident. They have more swagger. Kansas City needs a facelift, or it's going to be a long off season. Unexcusable to lose to the Packers, especially if you want to be a Super Bowl contender, because you look more like a pretender than a contender, and that's just not me being a hater. It's just true. It's like I don't know what I'm seeing. If the Chiefs were just like an average team, then it's like whatever. They're just the Chiefs. But when you're like the best team in the world and you have a high standard, and then you play like this, it's like you're playing from like a 10, and now you go to like a 5. I don't even know what I'm seeing on the TV. Come on now. 3rd down and 6. Can we please make a play? Shotgun set. 3rd down and 6. Love. Get him. There we go. Chris Jones. Who? Chris Jones at 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Let's go. Kind of slipped on his own, so it wasn't really like a true sack lunch. But hell, at this point, you'll take anything. Quarterback falling down on, tripping over his own 2 feet, whatever. You'll take whatever that you can get. I mean, if the Chiefs never won Super Bowls and they, didn't have a number 1 receiver, number 1 head coach, number 1 quarterback, number 1 tight end, then I wouldn't be making these statements. But it's like a fall from grace. Never underappreciate people that help you win and that make you better. My God, Mariners social media is blowing up even worse than what it was with when we got rid of Eugenio Suarez. At least Suarez gets to go and play with Seawald, and they actually get to go to a team that might be able to continue their dominance there with the Diamondbacks and Corbin Carroll, and Ketel Marte. Come on, Chiefs. This is going to go in. Kick is up, and it's good. That's a clutch kick. Mason Crosby, no. 27-19. So now you got to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And if this was years past, you're like, fuck, no problem. They can do it. But now it's like, I don't even know if you can get a fucking first down. Like, can you even catch the goddamn ball? Can you run? Can you throw? The shift of power is starting to change. But honestly, even if the Chiefs were as good as they were last year, they're not beating the Niners or Eagles in the Super Bowl. Those two teams are legit, and it all depends on injuries and whatnot. But I would be shocked if we get a champion that's in the AFC unless it's the Miami Dolphins. If the Miami Dolphins are in the Super Bowl, they definitely have a chance to win the Super Bowl. But other than that, no one else has a chance in the AFC, in my opinion, because you'd have that Tyreek and Tua combo, and that can overshadow some of the other pieces that they have. And they still got Waddle, Mostert. I feel the Dolphins are the team. If they're going to get there, that's the only team in the AFC that can win the Super Bowl this year. And then obviously you got the Eagles and the Niners and the NFC. Those have to be considered, at least right now, the teams that look. Most people aren't even on the Dolphin bandwagon just yet, but you have to compare them to what you see with the Ravens, no Mark Andrews. You have to compare them with the Chiefs, lack of offense and defense and bad coordinator. And then also with the Jags, everything is good, ETN in the defense with Josh Allen, but Trevor Lawrence isn't really consistent this year. So there's a little bit of, I don't know, and Mike McDaniel is the truth. Go Chiefs, go. All the people in the Mariners are like, okay, Sam Haggerty in left field, J-Rod in center, Dylan Moore in right field. Fuck. Oh my God. I mean, literally everyone is like, and then like they tag these guys, and all of them are getting like ripped apart. You know what I mean? It's like it's not, they have them tagged on like Twitter or Instagram, but instead of being like, "Yes, welcome to the family," everyone's like, everyone's being negative. I feel bad for them, but it's like, it's not them. It's necessarily it's what we gave up, and then we're bringing you guys in, and we don't even know who the fuck you are. Come on, Mahomes. What happened to my hands? Story of the season. I mean, once a team has problems, all kinds of shit like comes out of the woodworks. Like, you think that you're never going to have these issues happen, and then all of a sudden, when one bad thing happens and another bad thing happens, when it rains, it pours. Mahomes, come on, Pat, come on, run, run, run! Don't throw it. There you go. Oh, late hit, late, big flag. Shit, that hit was so hard it looked like his clavicle could have fucking broke. Now they're going to try to see if it was a flag or not. Let's look. He was in bounds, right? But that was a hard hit. I mean, imagine if Mahomes broke his shoulder right there or clavicle. Well, they would have fucking rioted. Like Mahomes is bracing for the hit, and it is in bounds, but it's just how hard he hit him. That's trying to protect Patrick Mahomes. So, was it a clean hit based off the rules? Yes. But again, protecting the quarterback, they'll do anything they can to protect their investment, especially if guys are getting paid 40 to 50 million a year. Oh, he almost dropped it. Come on, Rice. Touchdown, Packers. But I think he was down. Oh, Pacheco's fighting him. Pacheco's like left hook, left hook. I'm pretty sure he was down. Maybe. His butt is down. Butt cheek is down. Butt cheek is down. Butt cheek. Boom. Butt cheek down. He's down. He grabbed the cheeks. It's cheek season. Getting cheeky. Yeah, the rear end was Dan. I saw his rear end, and the butt cheek was Dan. They actually had a butt cheek call earlier today too. I'm trying to remember what game was. I think it was the Browns game, but the ref called it with the butt cheek was Dan. The left butt cheek was Dan. What are we on like, Sarah and Donuts? Where are we at? Are we getting close to 20? Chief just took a 0, didn't even replace Josh Allen when he had Dak. I mean, he's already in that 4th place and whatnot, so I guess if he wasn't in 4th place, then maybe he would have, but butt cheek down. Fleck with the 5er. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $5 holla. Let me know what you want to see. I got you. Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, it's much better than air, right? Appreciate you. Pacheco, kick that. There goes your best weapon besides Travis Kelce. Now you got to go to Rice, but if you guys went to heavy Rice, like I said, Rice is sitting on our waiver wire because he had a big game last week. But when you have like 4 to 5 targets and then you have 10 and you have a good game, it was like a fluke. They're not effectively trying to go to him. Going long, going deep. PI. Wow, what kind of home call is that? No PI? Yeah, how is this not PI? That's not PI? Two different things where he wraps his arm around the shoulder, around the neck. Look at that. 2 seconds before the ball comes. Jeez Louise. I mean, they need to be able to replay things like this. You know what I mean? That is clearly pass interference, not once, not twice, 3 times. 3 times. Left hand, right hand, around the neck. Golly. I mean, obviously one of these refs is linked to some DraftKings bet that he had to cover the spread. Come on, Mahomes. Got no timeouts now. You got to spike it. Third and 2. I guess you can't spike it now. You have to get the first down. Mahomes. Get out of bounds. There you go. I mean, can we get one of these? We had too many in Seattle and Dallas, like Reflect said, but that was ridiculous. And that's why people want to say football is rigged. It's like games get determined by 50-50 calls, but sometimes it's not a 50-50 call. It's a 99-1 call. It's very obvious. It's very clear, but then they look the other way. They either call it or they don't call it, and that usually ends up affecting the end result, based off the spread or whoever wins and loses. That's why people get upset. Mahomes going deep. It'd be nice to be able to have a receiver you could trust. Can't trust MVS. He can't catch. I mean, there's only going to be 2 guys that are going to be able to come up with this play, Rice and Kelce. So let's see if they actually go to them or they try to go to someone else to be the hero. And you don't even have to catch it. You can be PI. LaFleur with a timeout. It's just about consistency and what we like in life, right? It's consistency, like in the BCS or in the college football playoff or in games, with referees making these plays and calling these flags or not calling these flags. It determines the outcome of the game. Because realistically, if they get that there, they score, but do they get the 2-point conversion? Probably not. But if they do, then, maybe the Chiefs go to overtime and maybe win. You know what I mean? But that's a very blatant PI. But for all the people that complain about the BCS and the college football playoff, remember what happened prior, right? We would just have a bunch of random teams playing each other, and then we didn't really know who was number one. So, everyone's going to bitch and complain about everything. But if you're old enough and you remember, it used to be just random bowl games, and they were like, well, no, this is the champ, I think. No one knew. Come on, Mahomes. Mahomes throwing to a cameraman. Good job. I mean, it's one thing if it's like 50-50 where they're both pushing off and both grabbing, but when it's blatant, like 99-1, like 100-0, like there is no argument. If you're a Packer fan, what are you supposed to say? You're going to get those biased fans to be like, oh, we didn't do shit. Oh, they should have called the other one from the before, like they can't admit when they're wrong, like that was a PI. You might have a small percentage that would say that, but again, you're ahead. And instead of just being real, it is what it is. Another out of bounds throw to a cameraman. Michael in the building. What's good? 4th and 10. Andy Reid's like, man, I shouldn't have let Bieniemy go. I mean, the Packers deserve to win the game, right? But you don't want it to come down to like that. At least if something happens, realistically, they would have scored on the drive, probably not completed the 2-point conversion, right? And then the final score would have ended up being 27-25, and then you can at least live with that instead of it being 27-19, where you feel that, oh, what if we would have scored, and what if we would have got the 2, and then what if we would have to overtime, and then maybe we get a field goal and we win, or whatever, those what if scenarios. So. But if you had to look at the overall performance besides that bad no call, who played better today from beginning to end? Green Bay did. I don't like Green Bay, but it is what it is. That's tough, man. I hate seeing games decided like that. But in all honesty, even if they did call that, just based off the flow of the game, they probably weren't going to get the 2-point conversion. If it was from a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, yeah, they probably would have scored and got the 2-point conversion. But the way that the game has been going and is the way that the Chiefs have been playing this year, probably not. But they didn't even get Kelce the ball for him to have momentum. You know what I mean? Like all game, he was a non-factor. If you got the best tight end in the world, you get him the ball and you get him the ball often. And when you start struggling, you go to your best player. You get him the ball, even if it's just like a bubble screen, a 2-yard pass. And that's the difference between good teams and teams that need to make adjustments. But obviously the Packers, it all started even before the win on Thanksgiving. But that's like you could tell, like Jordan Love in the first 2 months wasn't very good. Defense wasn't very good, and then they started to get into a little bit of a rhythm. Then they kind of put everyone on the map in that Lions game on Thanksgiving. They're like, look, like the Lions defense is terrible. The Packer defense improved. They got to the quarterback. They made Goff look terrible. And then Jordan Love started getting a little bit more consistent. And it shows you if your defense shows up and then your offensive line, balls out, and you give your quarterback time, regardless if it's Jordan Love or anybody else, you're going to be able to go through your progressions and being able to get better. So, first half of the season for the Packers, terrible. Second half of the season, they played great. It's been like a Jekyll and Hyde. You had a horrible team at the beginning of the year, and now a team that is like, trying to like do whatever they can to get close to get to a wild card. When you didn't think it was possible in the first 8 weeks of the season. So final score, Packers 27, Chiefs 19. No Mark Andrews, no Super Bowl. Give me Dolphins over Ravens. If Mark Andrews was there, I would say, you know what? But if they don't got Mark Andrews, and if Lamar was in MVP form and he's throwing for 300 yards and running for a touchdown almost every game, then I would say, yeah. But Lamar, a lot of times, is only throwing for 100, 150 yards, and sometimes he's not scoring on the ground. So I don't really trust that offense. Defense, most of the time, very, 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 very trustworthy, but I don't trust that offense. I like the Jags, and I like the Dolphins offense much better. And the Dolphins defense has actually been getting better and better each week. So, but we'll see. You never know, unless, certain guys step up at the right time, and we'll have to look at injuries as well. So, um, but no Mark Andrews. I don't think that they, I mean, the furthest they could get to my opinion, is probably AFC championship game. But I don't know. I don't think the Ravens are better than the Jags or the Dolphins. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone coming through and hanging out. I'm gonna go, take the Paisley pup for a walk, eat dinner, do some film study, and do some reading and whatnot. I appreciate all you guys in the building. Thank you to everyone that obviously donated, commented, shared. You guys are awesome. All the people watching on Twitter, X as well. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for Monday Night Football. I'll try to plug out maybe some reaction videos in the morning or early afternoon. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.